Yes, indeed, we are back for our nightly beating as Knicks fans, as our New York Knicks unfortunately are back in action here today. We have the last leg of our road trip here, our fourth game on the road. This little mini road trip, but a road trip nonetheless. They're playing a bad tanking team. Who knows what we'll see? Let's get into the show and break it down. No. Cut it. Cut all of it. Nope, there's not all this hoopla going around. There's not all this excitement for tonight here's game. Nope. We know what we're in store for. We know what we're coming off of. Let's not gaslight ourselves into thinking that we're actually excited for this Grizzlies game. The Knicks are coming off three pretty pathetic performances against really high caliber teams here tonight. They're going up against a pretty low caliber team in the Memphis Grizzlies. So much so, there really isn't much to cover them, so we could spend this entire time talking about the Knicks. Star, what's up, Star? I've not recovered since last game. My anxiety levels are spiking. And I don't blame you one bit. David Oz Jr., what's up, David? We got some Yankees chat going on, some Yankees talk going on in the chat. David said Aaron Boone, bad move to take, came out, was untouchable. I don't know what's going on with the Yankees because I'm too preoccupied with the Knicks right now. Not until the end of basketball season will I start really paying attention to baseball season. So you guys are going to have to fill me in on what's going on. David said Lakers did us a favor yesterday. Yes, they did. The Cavs went down to the LA Lakers. The Knicks somehow will hold on to this 3 seed by the tiniest of chinny chin hairs on their little chinny chin chins. It is such a minuscule lead that they have that I don't even think that they deserve to have it. Let's be real. What is the record actually? Are they close? I know they're one back in the loss column. So the Knicks are 48-28. The Cleveland Cavaliers are exactly one game behind at 47-29. So they're literally only that loss would have put them a half game back of the Knicks and also tied in the loss column with the Knicks for the 3 seed. Now the Knicks hold the tiebreaker over the Cavs, same way they hold the tiebreaker over the Celtics, but not like any of that truly matters at this point, right, guys? Right? Because, like I said, we just saw this team have 3 pretty pathetic performances. I don't want to go that far with the Oklahoma City game. I thought they played fine in that game, and I thought they had an opportunity, but the Thunder are just a better overall team and played better overall in that game. Trav in the 90s. What's up, Trav in the 90s? Happy birthday, Mitchie. It's Mitch's birthday. He better show out today. Oh, he's not playing today. Never mind. No, Mitchell Robinson is the second night of a back-to-back, and this close to the playoffs, why push it? Especially against this Grizzlies team, which you should not have too much of an issue doing. Doing too much. What's up, doing too much? We really need this dub because if we lose, oh man, I can't even fathom what the discussions would be like if the Knicks aren't able to pull off this victory here today. Partly because there's already discussions about like, hey, look, maybe our expectation from the national media, obviously within Knicks communities, there's a lot more in-depth conversation, but from the national media, they're looking at the Knicks, and rightfully so, they're going, hey, maybe we had too high of an expectation, anointing these guys maybe one of the favorites of the East. And I think it's valid from a national media perspective. It's pretty valid to look at what this team has done, especially towards the end of the season, and be like, okay, you're going to beat up on a bunch of sub-500 teams, but then not really show up against the good teams? Like, not even have good games. Not like you just lost. It's not like the Knicks are on a 3-game losing streak in which, like, they were right there in all 3 of those games, or even 2 of those games, or heck, maybe even 1 of those games. No, they lost by double digits in all 3 of them. 2 of them, they weren't ever really in. And then 1 of them against the Thunder, they weren't really in it in the 4th quarter when SGA eventually took over. So, you look at the recent stretch from the New York Knicks going towards the end of the season, all the talk coming off the 7-game winning streak against sub-500 teams about how that was the easy part of the schedule. Now let's have a good performance, getting ready, gearing up for the big playoff run. And it's gone the opposite way. This is more reminiscent of, was it the January? the January Knicks. Yeah, because I went for my birthday game. I go to one game every year on my birthday in January, and they were slumping. The 2-9, the infamous 2-9 11-game stretch for the Knicks, where it felt like, oh, the season's over. This team can't compete. And then all of a sudden, they were like a phoenix reborn out of the ashes, and they came back. One of the five, objectively, through all metrics you want to check, through the eye test, one of the five best teams in the NBA over the next 20 or 30 games or so before eventually landing where we are now. Like, are we back to where we were in January? Does that mean after this it'll follow an incredible stretch of basketball in the playoffs? Who knows? Because they had the bad January stretch, but then the late January into February into March, and now we're at the end of March and into April, so about 2 months, they were one of the five best teams in the NBA. So does that mean now that we're slumping now, going into the playoffs, we'll end up winning a championship because a championship run equates to about 2 months of basketball here from the, play-in all the way to the finals, right? From April into June. I don't know. Star said, we cannot allow the public to believe that the allegations are true. Not tonight. They're not, you're right, Star, but they're not, the Knicks are not fighting back. Fight back, Knicks. Fight back against these allegations. Eric Lyerly, what's up, Eric? Y'all need a win. Desperately, they need a win, man. David said, fire Mike Brown if we lose. JB Dad will coach never? Never? He'll coach never? Listen. The Mike Brown conversations are interesting. I do believe that he put out a quote, or he was asked in the pregame here about how bad the team's gone off the starts and what is he thinking with the starting lineup. And his answer was something along the lines of, I truly believe in this team and I'm not even considering changing the starting lineup. And I think every Knicks fan is just like, brother, then what are we doing? Then what can we do? What will we do? Who knows? Because none of it's working. None of it is working right now. Benzino said this is a get right game. It has to be. You can only play the people in front of you, right? So it's not like the Knicks chose to have an easy game today. With that being said, the Grizzlies are feisty and spunky, and I don't expect them to just lay over and the Knicks and allow the Knicks to just walk all over them. This will be a hard-fought game, but the Knicks are just a more supremely talented team, even with players out. We'll go through that. Even with players out, no McBride, no Robinson, and I think someone said no Brunson earlier, so. David Osh Jr. said, we're the worst top 5 defense and offense team ever. Yeah. Although I'm pretty sure they fell out of being top 5 offense and defense at this point. The offense has been putrid. The defense, not that much better. As a matter of fact, it's a good point, David. Let me look it up. See if they're still top 5. I highly doubt they are in either of those categories. Doing too much said, we really need to go on a short winning streak before the playoffs. So we can have some kind of momentum. Literally any kind of momentum. Literally any. Literally give me a speck of momentum. Sons Jen, I saw earlier in the chat. Shout out my guy Sons Jen. Appreciate you. He said, go get him, Knicks. Just have a good game today, man. Ian Parkins of Ian. You answered my question about who's Alien next year. They're all playing bad. What's the reason? You're gonna have to retype that question, Ian. Some typos in there. I'm trying to decipher what you mean. I don't know what you mean, brother. They're all playing badly. What's the reason? Like, what's the reason they're all playing badly? Is the end of the question available to coach? Okay. And my question: who's available? Who's available to coach next year? Like firing Mike Brown. That's part of the problem. As part of the problem, Ian. Like, look, the Knicks could have gone out and hired Jordan Hall. They could have hired. Who was the guy we all wanted? The brand new guy who didn't end up getting a job. He's the assistant coach with the Cavs right now. Was an assistant coach with the Knicks. Johnny Bryant. They could have gone out and hired Johnny Bryant. They could have gone out and hired a first-time head coach and taken a swing on a guy to help usher the Knicks into a new, more updated future. And they didn't want to do that because the messaging from the front office and everybody involved, including the owner, James Dolan, who went on a radio show earlier this season and said, we are all expecting to be competing for a championship this year. We're all single-mindedly pushing forward towards that goal. right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're not like, oh yeah, one step this year, another step next year, and we'll keep taking steps, and hopefully we can get to that. They were like, no, we're at the finish line here. We've taken all the steps. We've used up all the assets. We emptied out the treasure trove, right? We traded all the picks. We traded our high leverage players, Rando, DiVincenzo. We traded those guys. The other guys we have available to trade are probably making us worse in a future trade if they were to happen. They were like, this is our team. We built it. You used all the assets to build it. Go win the championship. I'm signing all the checks. I allowed you to fire a coach that you just gave an extension to hire another coach because you told me it's the best thing we can do to compete for a championship this year, right? James Dolan was like, I did it. I signed the checks. I stayed out of the way. You all made these decisions. You emptied the treasure trove. You thought this was the right move. You said we're going for it. We had a good season last year. It ended in a little bit of disappointment in a Game 6 loss to the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals. Here we are this year. We're coming into it. Pacers are out. We knew the Celtics were going to be out with Tatum likely not playing, but now it is playing. Knew that was a possibility. Everything on your side. Everything on the Knicks side this year coming into the season, and it felt like they've just kind of thrown it all away. Just kind of laid it on the floor. Everything was there for them. All they had to do was pick up the ball and walk into the end zone. And they have consistently picked it up and fumbled it and kicked it around and fell over themselves trying to pick it up. And it's just been a rough season where there are times where they look like the championship contending team that I think they could be. And there are times that they look like the first round exit that a lot of people in the chat think that they could be. And they've looked like both of those teams. So both of us are right in some ways and both of us are wrong in some ways. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Right? It's frustrating. How do you evaluate this team? How do you continue to have optimism with this team when maybe they go into the playoffs and they flip the switch and they look great in round one? How do I know they won't look bad in round two? They've been so inconsistent that I can't even trust them on a series-to-series basis. They could have a really good first two games in the playoffs and then stink it up and lose the next four. They could have a great first three games or a terrible first game in the playoffs and then win the next four. I don't know what to expect from this team. The talent is there. The possibility they could win a championship is there. The possibility is there because the talent is there. We've seen them hit those peaks, but we've also seen them hit valleys that I didn't even think was possible for a team that is this talented. I didn't think it was possible for this team to just stink it up and not figure it out. They look like such a disconnected team right now, and that could be for a multitude of reasons. That could be for lineup configurations. That could be for things going on in personal lives. You know, one of the things that we aren't talking about because it's really none of our business is Karl-Anthony Towns' dad's situation and how heavily that could be weighing on him. There's the injury stuff going on with the Knicks and a lot of their role guys. It's just, you look at it and you go, like, it's not like other teams aren't dealing with stuff off the court. It's not like other teams don't have players with personal lives. And yet, it feels like everything is just falling apart around the Knicks right now. Right? That Houston game, you really look at them and you go, really? Down 20 points in that game? You go down, whatever it was to start, 20-1? Really? Really, TT in the morning with the TT? Being a Knicks fan must be hell because y'all be going through it. Yeah, man. Yeah. It is, look, one of my favorite phrases in basketball is that the Knicks jersey, the New York jersey, is the heaviest jersey in the league to wear. It's super heavy, right? There's so much responsibility that comes because the weight of the city is hanging over the organization and the players. And every season that goes by and the farther we get from the championship runs of the 90s that I wasn't even privy to because I was born in the late 90s, so I wasn't even really watching at the time. The farther we get away from that, the more pressure continues to be added to what's going on right now. We have 6 games left in the regular season, and all we asked was from this Knicks team was just play some good basketball and build some momentum going into the playoffs. And the issue is that it's going the opposite way. Right? If you have read any of the post-game, like, look, having a bad game is one thing. Having a bad stretch of games is another thing. But the quotes coming out of the post-game right? So we end the show. I go on social media. I go to YouTube. I check out all of the post-game content, all of the post-game interviews. I read all of the quotes. I watch all of the interviews from Begley and Bondi and all these guys, and they put out all their quotes and they put out their articles, and I go through them and I go, okay, what's the pulse of this team? What are the vibes? What's the energy like? And they're in the dumpster. The players feel like they don't even believe in themselves anymore. How can I believe in them? I'm one of the most optimistic, like, people get on me all the time in the chat for being like, oh, you just believe in them no matter what. It's like, no, I believe in them because they're the team that I root for. But when they don't even believe in themselves, how can I sit up here and ask you guys to then believe in them? I can't, right? How about you believe in you first? And then when I feel that energy from you guys and I read those messages coming off from your statements and I can see it in the way that you answer questions in the postgame, then I'll be the relay for, hey, this team, they're going to pull it together, guys. They're going to figure it out. Like, yeah, it's not working great, but I can't come up here and gaslight you guys into being like, no, believe in them. It'll work out, guys. How can I do that? I can't do that. I'm not going to lie to you. I can give you my opinion, but even right now, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. As a fan, obviously, I got nothing to do with the team. I have no way to influence the team. As a fan, I'm looking at myself and I'm going, am I trying to gaslight myself into actually believing in this team? Right? Is that what I'm doing? Like, what is going on with this team? Right? And again, this is a uncharacteristic pregame for us because there really isn't much to talk about in this game. There isn't much to talk about in the rundown for the Grizzlies. They're not playing anybody. All their rotation guys are hurt. They traded a bunch of their rotation guys. They're playing a bunch of G League guys and the rookies. Which again, they're playing funky. They're playing feisty and they're trying and they're playing really hard. So it's not going to be the easiest game in the world for the Knicks to win, but they're going to have to find a way to do so. And I don't have a ton of confidence that they're going to give us a really dominant, entertaining game. Right? I would love it, right? Once the ball is tipped up and we're going and we're making shots and the offense is moving, I'll get hyped, right? I'll hype it up. We should see some Kolek. We should see some Diawara. Should see some of our guys. I'll hype it up. But because I love watching basketball, as long as they give me a good performance, it's my favorite team. Heck yeah. But going into it, I'm not feeling great. Ian Parkin said, they're like my kids. I still love them when they're bad. Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. The OMG father, what's up, OMG? I don't want to see the Knicks in the first round as a Hawks fan. It's an interesting perspective, brother. I'll tell you what, I'm not really concerned about the first round for the Knicks. Obviously, they could lose, especially if they have a series of games in which they've had these past 3 games. It's possible they could lose in the first round. I'm really not too worried about any first round matchup the Knicks could draw here, considering that they will be a top 4 seed. Keith, what's up, Keith? Do you know the Knicks average turnovers? If it is more than 12 per game, we have a big problem. I can look up some of the ratings here, and then we can go through team stats, I guess, overall on the season. Let's look at, because I doubt at one point the Knicks were a top 5 offense and a top 5 ranked defense in the NBA. Right now, the New York Knicks, and again, this is an unconventional pregame that we have here. We're not going to go through every single player because there's not much to say. They all deserve the same message right now. We could just talk about our team and what we've seen from them. Then right now, the Knicks are still technically the 4th ranked offense. Somehow, some way, they have been able to still be ranked 4. They're still ranked ahead Charlotte, still ranked ahead Cleveland, still ranked ahead the Lakers, still ranked ahead the Thunder, who have obviously played significantly better than the Knicks as of late. The Knicks are still the 4th ranked offense somehow. Although I will say, throughout certain parts of the season, they were competing with the Nuggets and the Celtics for the best ranked offense, and they have had a somewhat precipitous drop from hovering around 119 to now hovering around 118.4. It's a pretty big drop if you don't fully keep track of that kind of stuff. But the fact that they're still 4 makes me look at them and I go, oh, okay, somehow maybe they'll still find a way. We go to their defense and they have dropped out of the top 5. They're now down to 8, which, okay, guess what? The goal was always to be a top 5 offense, hopefully a top 3 offense, but it looks like they'll settle into around 4 or top 5, and a top 10 defense. They're 8 right now, right? Top 5 always felt like some kind of magic. Maybe they ended up in the top 5 because of the low caliber of opponents they were playing. But either way, if they can manage to stay in the top 10 of defense going into the playoffs here, maybe I can convince myself that, yeah, that team that can still hit those levels, those peaks of good offense and good defense, and or dominant offense and good defense, good enough defense, maybe I can convince myself, like, yeah, that is the makings of a team that can compete for a championship because it's been there. It's been there. I've seen this team play against some of the best teams in the NBA. We've seen it against the Spurs. We've seen it against the Nuggets. Heck, we've seen it against the Thunder, despite that they lost both of those games. We've seen it against the Celtics. We've seen it against the Cavs. We've literally seen them compete with pretty much everybody except for the Pistons this year. The Pistons smoked them on all 3 games they played. We've seen them compete and play well against every top-tier team in the NBA. Whether they won those games or lost those games, we've seen them compete with them and hang in there with them. And it makes you go, yeah, that's a team that can win a championship, a team that consistently competes with the top 10 teams. But we've also seen them not really be competitive with some of these teams, right? Not all of them, but some of these teams, we've also seen them just completely crap the bed like they did against the Houston Rockets. Where were you there, man? Where did the Knicks go? David Hodge Jr. is trying to get the Sohan hype going? I don't know, brother. I don't know about the Sohan hype, but I'll tell you what. Try it. Literally try anything. Try getting an energy guy out there. Why not? Why not try it? Foompe, what's up, Foompe? My guy, OMG Father, said, when the Knicks run Cat and Mitch together with OG, JB, and Hart, they scare me. Yeah, I mean, they don't particularly love running that lineup for whatever reason. Mike Brown doesn't go to it consistently enough, at least not for my liking. I don't know. Also, when they're in that configuration, sometimes I feel like they don't run sets that take full advantage of having double bigs out there all the time. I also don't love the way, I think Mitch has played fine, but not good enough as of late. You know, like you are supposed to be a starting caliber center who's coming off the bench. And I don't think he's been dominant enough. And I got teams are game planing against him and doing their best to box him out. And maybe he's saving himself a little bit for the playoff run here now that the playoffs are right around the corner. But you know, we got 5-6 games left, however many games we have left. Man, lock in. We got to lock in here. Keno, what's up, Keno? Hope they play fast and attack the paint. All we could do is hope. All we could do is hope, Keno. Just give me a good game, Knicks. Just give me a good game. Chaotic Styles, what's up, Chaotic? Ian Parkin, so what happens if they lose tonight? They go home with their tails between their legs and they prepare for their game against Chicago. You know? There's nothing that they control about the things that are talked about and whatnot, but you're going to have to find a way to regroup. Like I said, about 5 games remaining on the regular season here. Win some of these, build momentum going into the playoffs. Henry Robinson, what's up, Henry? Chaotic Style said, all I can say is thank goodness for tanking teams, or should I only watch the 4th quarter to see how it's going? I don't know, brother. I don't know. I will say, this Grizzlies team, I mean, I could show you guys right here. I went through it, as I always do before these games. As I usually do before these games. I went through it, man. And this Grizzlies team, I'll show you. I will show you. Henry said, why does your current live appear when I search you specifically? Why does my current live appear? Because it is currently the piece of content that is actively going on in the channel, so they might be directing you towards it. I don't know. Doing Too Much said, do you think that the ball is going to move better with Brunson out tonight? It invariably has to. The Knicks don't have good ball handlers. They don't have good one-on-one attackers. Brunson is literally the only guy who can do it. Teams have to fundamentally guard the Knicks differently, and the Knicks have to fundamentally play offense differently without Jalen Brunson. So yes, the ball will move more without Jalen Brunson. Will the offense be more effective? Honestly, it'll come down to whether or not they knock down their outside shots. If they knock down their outside shots, yeah, the offense will appear great. But I could say the same thing when Jalen Brunson's in the game. Because Brunson oftentimes will hit Bridges open, will hit Josh Hart open, and he'll refuse to shoot the 3. Will hit OG Anunoby, who, by the way, was 2 for 8 from three-point range the other night against the Rockets and 1 for 7 for the majority of the game. Yeah, the ball will move better, but obviously offense will only look so good as to how many shots they knock down, and they're not going to get a ton of downhill attacking, so they're going to have to knock down a bunch of jump shots tonight, unless Karl-Anthony Towns wants to have a vintage Karl-Anthony Towns Big Cities-esque performance, right? They're going to have to, when your best player's out, you have to fundamentally change your offense, right? It just kind of is what it is, right? When Luka Doncic is out, the ball moves more. When Jaylen Brown is out, when Jason Tatum is out, the ball moves more for the Celtics. right? When you have a star player, the ball is in your star player's hands. The ball will move more. Will it be more effective? It'll come down to whether or not the Knicks actually knock down their shots tonight. And they should, because they should be annoyed and frustrated, and they should be wanting to take out their annoyance and frustration out on this Grizzlies team. How much will that say? How much will that make us feel better about the performances they put on these past couple of games? Probably not a whole lot, but it's a step in the right direction, I guess. Nikki, what's up, Nikki? Croy Win, what's up, Croy? Chi-Chi, what's up, Chi-Chi? Last night I was hyped. Even had them going all the way, but Jalen Brunson and his Nova besties, Josh Fart and Mikhail, I can't say that word, big dog, poop his pants are making it difficult for me. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You know me. I'm Mr. This team can do it. They can compete. They can get there. I'm that guy. And even I'm looking at them sideways like, really? Really? That's what we're going to do? That's what we're going to do. Rizo, what's up, Rizo? Nikki said the core issue is senior leadership and coaching. The starting five is not changing despite struggling every game is 100% a senior leadership issue, i.e. Leon Rose. I would put majority of the blame on Mike Brown in that situation because they kind of give their coaches pretty much carte blanche to figure out what they want to do with their team. Leon Rose will make suggestions, but he has... coaches, and maybe this is not true because obviously we're not privy to the conversations and things that go on in the background, but it's not a Leon Rose thing to me. We could put a little bit of the blame on him for sure because maybe he should step down from his front office and just say to the coach, like, listen, it's not working. Change the starting lineup. I'm demanding it of you. Do that. And then Mike Brown should do it. But obviously Leon Rose is looking at Mike Brown. He's like, starting five's not working. What do you think what do you want to do about it? I'll change some of the plays we run, some of the sets we run. Maybe some of our starting, we'll make some adjustments to the way we start games, but I don't want to change the starting lineup. Okay, do what you got to do. Do what you think is best for the team. That's all Leon Rose should be doing. That's all any front office guy should be doing to the head coaches. Give a suggestion, ask for what their solution is, let them play it out. And I think that is kind of what the front office has kind of indicated to head coaches. To their head coaches or their two head coaches they've had, Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose. The most disappointing thing that I've heard from Mike Brown this season is when he was asked in the pregame here tonight what he thinks about the starting lineup and has he thought about changing it. And he said, absolutely not. I believe in these guys. And I was just like, what? What statistical measure? What metric? Because it's not the eye test. It's not any advanced stats. It's not any of the traditional counting stats. There's nothing that shows that this starting lineup works. Nothing. We have 2 seasons of an insane amount of playing that lineup together, the starting five. And it hasn't worked. And yet, you believe in them? You believe they'll figure it out in minute 4,000 that they're going to play together? Durston, what's up, Durston? How am I? I'm nervous and annoyed with this Knicks team. Namar said Leon Rose should step down. I wouldn't go that far. Angela Harding, what's up, Angela? Nikki said, but dog, this is the same issue as last season. Coaching staff has the same stats we do. There has to be a reason they aren't changing starting lineup. Let me give you a reason, Nikki. Obviously, I don't know for sure. I can only hypothesize based off of watching the game with you guys and covering the team and reading as much as possible about this team. What I think it is, Nikki, I think it's player egos. Josh Hart was not in the starting lineup to start the season. And you know what Josh Hart did? He sulked and was very moody and made it very publicly clear because he wears his heart on his sleeve and he can't hide his emotions when he's out on the court about how much he disliked coming off the bench, coming off a career year last year where he put up great numbers, but again, wasn't necessarily great in that starting lineup. But that's besides the point, I guess, at this point. But then it all changed, and suddenly Josh Hart was back in the starting lineup. I think it's player egos. I think Josh Hart sees himself as a starter. I don't think he wants to come off the bench when he sees his two best friends, Jalen Brunson and Mikal Bridges, in the starting lineup. I think he sees himself as like, if we win a championship, it'll be like the Nova Corps winning a championship all over again, the way we did back in college. He doesn't want to be one of those guys coming off the bench. He when there's talk of sacrifice from players on this team, and Karl Anthony Towns is obviously the biggest proponent of this conversation of you got to sacrifice, you're going to have to give up some so that the team is better all around. Josh Hart has consistently been one of these guys who is refusing to take a step back, right? And last year during the playoffs, it was all coming out, oh yeah, Josh Hart was advocating for Tom Thibodeau to put Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup, right? Remember that? Remember that little stretch there? You know? But this year, suddenly, Mitchell Robinson's healthy from the start, but now Josh Hart wants back in the starting lineup. It's almost as if when push comes to shove, and the pressure's on, and you kind of have to make the sacrifice because there really is no other way of winning, then you're okay. Then you would be okay just for this stretch right here to come off the bench. But his ego seems to be not intact enough to be like, you know what, I could still play my exact same role, still play probably the exact same minutes, if not maybe a few less minutes, but I wouldn't have my name called in the starting lineup. I think it is 90% player egos that keeps Josh Hart, and overall, it doesn't even have to be Josh Hart at this point, overall this starting unit together right now. David Hodge Jr. said, Mike Brown loves to hold the players, not make them accountable. Brian, what's up, Brian? I've really disliked the way Mike Brown has talked about certain players in the media. He will publicly go at Karl Anthony Towns, but also, you know, baby guys like Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson. And it's like, no, man, go at those guys. Demand those guys to be better. Because they have been just as problematic on this team as any of the other Karl Anthony Towns and any of the other issues that this organization has had so far. Paper Dog, what's up, Paper Dog? Pablo flipping in Hawks game. The Hawks are playing the Magic today, right? So we're talking about Paolo. It's 65-48. Magic are down yet again. 76ers and the Wizards locked on a tight one at halftime. 73-71. No defense being played that night. What's up, Paper Dog? Susan, what's up, Susan? David said game's about to start. We got it up. We're ready to go. Doing too much said that's Mike Brown's issue because instead of caring about people's egos and feelings, he needs to be the coach and take charge. Yep. Valid criticism for sure. Isaiah Garner, what's up, Isaiah? Tay Cowboys, what's up, Tay? Isaiah Garner said Hart always saying everyone has to sacrifice, but he doesn't want to play the bench. Pretty much. If you are wondering why we didn't really do a regular pregame rundown, number one, the Knicks played last night, so we've talked plenty about the Knicks. It was also a blowout game, so again, we've talked very, very plenty about the New York Knicks and their issues and their players and whatnot. No Jalen Brunson tonight. Karl Anthony Towns, he will be active. OG Anunoby will be. Mikal Bridges, of course, the Iron Man will be. Josh Hart will be. Mitchell Robinson is out, second night of a back-to-back. Deuce McBride is also out for injury management reasons, obviously coming back from the abdomen surgery. Landry Shamet's still out, I believe. As a matter of fact, let me just make sure we double check this when we pull up the Knicks injury report. Landry Shamet, yeah, still out. Oh, he's available to play. Never mind, Landry Shamet's available to play. All right, Landry Shamet, come back here tonight. Come back, Landry. Help the team, Landry. Help the team. Jose Alvarado's been playing well the last 2 or 3 games or so hopefully we can get a better, or have Jose continue to give us good production here tonight. He's probably going to be in the starting lineup. I assume he's going to be in the starting lineup. Mo Diawara will probably see some minutes with Deuce McBride and Mitchell Robinson both out. We'll see. Probably no Jeremy Sohan. Maybe, who knows at this point. Again, literally try anybody. I'm cool with that. Jordan Clarkson has continued to play well. Jordan Clarkson, cool. Again, there's really not much to talk about the Knicks. We watched them play last night, but real quick, if we try to go down the Grizzlies, we really can't. John Moran is hurt. Zach Edey is hurt. Jaren Jackson Jr. is no longer on the team. Jalen Wells is hurt. Ty Jerome is hurt. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is hurt. Santi Aldama. Is Santi Aldama playing? Probably playing, right? Santi? One of my favorite role players in the NBA, by the way, Santi Aldama. Is Santi Aldama injured? Santi Aldama's hurt. Yep. He had season-ending arthroscopic procedure. Okay. Santi Aldama's out. And Scottie Pippen Jr. is out. And guess what? Cedric Coward, the last guy on the player graphics here, the rookie, he's playing. He's the only guy we have a player graphic made for at this point who's available to play for the Memphis Grizzlies. Their starting lineup is Javon Small, Cam Spencer, Cedric Coward, GG Jackson, and Olivier Maxence Prosper. Omax. And that's it. And Jose Alvarado is indeed in the starting lineup for the New York Knicks here tonight in the absence of Jalen Brunson. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. So, with that pitiful pregame rundown out of the way, hopefully the Knicks give us a decent enough performance. Did I say Landry Shamet was out? Is Landry Shamet playing or not, man? Fear of nothing. What's up, Fear? Who's having a big game? Hopefully the Knicks as a whole, as they actually win the tip here today. They don't really have a center out there. By the way, Taj Gibson's on this Grizzlies team, and he had been playing for them, but he's now hurt. They lob it up to OG Anunoby for the first nice, beautiful set play of the game. Get OG Anunoby wide open, cutting to the rim. Alvarado throws him a lob, and he throws it down. That's a good start. That's a good start. Where's my mic? Nikki, what's up, Nikki? Celtics are cooking. We will indeed be going around the league. It is a little bit of a later start time as Cedric Coward misses a mid-range pull-up jumper. Here come the Knicks pushing it the other way. Towns has it up top. Fakes the handoff. Keeps it. Hits Anunoby coming back door. Kicks it out to Josh Hart. Extra pass to Alvarado. No hesitation. 3 from Alvarado. He got it to go down. It's a 5-0 start. Okay. You better give us a decent enough performance. Namar said yes. Ian Begley said Landry Shamet is in the lineup. Thank you, Namar. Appreciate you. Thank you. I believe this is GG Jackson with the step back 3 over Bridges. He splashes in nothing but net. That's a pretty decent start for a GG Jackson. Always kind of like GG Jackson. Alvarado. Jab step. Dancing with it. Being guarded by Javon Small. Pulls it out. Coming to his right off the town screen. In the corner to Anunoby. A no hesitation 3. Gets fouled. He's going to the foul line for 3 free throws. And this is not a good Grizzlies team. They're young. They're going to try hard. They're going to be feisty because, again, trying to stick around in the NBA. I believe this is his 3rd season. Rookie, trying to show out and play well and build confidence here in the NBA. GG Jackson, 2nd-round pick. Didn't really get a ton of opportunity earlier in the season. He's trying to play well and stick around the NBA, so he's going to be playing hard. Cam Spencer trying to stick around in the NBA. He's going to be playing hard. Javon Small getting an opportunity he might never get again, so he's going to be feisty and play hard and try to favor another contract. Get Off My Lawn Records. What's up, Get Off My Lawn Records? Happy Holy Wednesday to all who celebrate. Shout out to you, Get Off My Lawn Records. Shout out to everybody. Anunoby knocks down the first 2. He's got one more coming. And there is a child in the arena absolutely screaming at the top of his lungs. This young kid is fully committed to trying to distract OG Anunoby, and it did not work as he knocks down all 3 free throws. But I got to commend the young man for really, really belting out, trying to distract Anunoby, screaming at the top of his lungs. They feed it to Omax, cutting down the middle of the lane. And a late foul call is made as OG Anunoby went up to contest him at the rim on the little pocket pass rolling off the screen, and he's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws himself. Brian said, who are the Knicks playing tonight? Wizards somebody? The Memphis Grizzlies, brother. The Memphis Grizzlies. Student said the child is screaming he saw a ghost that's Mikhail Invisible Bridges. Crazy. But you might not be wrong, Susan. You might not be wrong. Gigi said, with Brunson out, Cat better get the ball on every possession. If he doesn't, then it's personal. They do get the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns a heavy amount. The way teams guard him puts Karl-Anthony Towns in a position where he's passive, where the team doesn't feel super comfortable getting him the ball in certain positions because he's not, forceful enough and, actually establishing a spot. He kind of allows the defender to hug him until eventually, here, Anunoby's trying to get it to Towns. They do. They immediately throw a double team. Towns pulls it out, sees the double team, doesn't throw the cross-court pass, instead leaves it off for Josh Hart the last second, gets blocked by Omax as Josh Hart hits the floor. Omax down the lane, gets the layup to go down after making the 2 free throws. So 4 straight points for Omax. that's a scenario where they got Karl Anthony Towns the ball, and he didn't end up taking the shot because they brought a double team over to him. And he dished it off to Josh Hart, but Josh Hart took too long to get a layup at the basket, and Omax came over to block him. Now Josh Hart in the left corner. It's a 1-point game, 8-7. Josh Hart hits Bridges coming back door. Bridges with the layup. The OMG father said, the Chattanooga Grizzlies, or whatever their G League team is from. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. A pump fake, baseline drive, and I believe that's Javon Small draws a foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws with 9:15 to go here. Isaiah Gardner said KD was literally holding Cat for him to not get the ball. Yeah, and that's how teams end up guarding Karl Anthony Towns. And Karl Anthony Towns has been dissuaded from getting... I didn't realize that my water bottle didn't have a cap on it. I spilled it all over myself. Small knocks down the first free throw. And Cat has been dissuaded from getting extra physical with smaller players holding him like KD was, because Karl Anthony Towns is one of those guys that refs consistently see contact and they tend to call an offensive foul on Towns because he can be very demonstrative in his physicality and fighting for positioning. And so he's just been dissuaded by the way he's officiated and his own body mechanics to actually being aggressive to fight for positioning at times. Which is why he consistently catches it out by the three-point line, because it's just easier to get him the ball in that spot. Alvarado down the lane, kicks it out to Anunoby. Anunoby on the right wing, back up top to Alvarado, over to Josh Hart. Josh Hart directing some traffic, trying to get it to Towns. They dump it down low to him. He immediately sees a double team. He hits Anunoby coming to the rim, and then Anunoby throws it down with 2 hands. A nice quick pass from Karl Anthony Towns at that time. Again, it's not really about a ton of shot opportunities for Karl Anthony Towns. It's usually when can we get him the ball and where do we get him the ball? And what are the decisions he makes when he gets it there? Is it going to end up in a shot for him? Is it going to end up in a pass out of a double team? Is he going to be able to draw a double team? Is he just going to hold it for 4 or 5 seconds in the post there before ultimately kicking out to a guy who's not ready to shoot? Omax misses a corner 3, rebound to Anunoby, hit ahead past the Bridges. Bridges down the lane, 1-on-3. Euro steps down the lane, gets a nice good layup out of it. Nice play for Mikal Bridges there. 14-8. Cam Spencer hits Cedric Coward cutting to the rim. All-the-way jumper in the paint, comes up short, but a foul on Josh Hart. 8 minutes to go. Lano Mono to the Blano. He said, hope I get my birthday gift tonight. Better late than never. Hopefully. Hopefully. We're all hoping for a good, fun, dominant victory for our Knicks, but they're going to have to show us more so far than they have in this first quarter for us to get on their side. Coward hits the first free throw. He's got another one coming. Brian Harris, what's up, Brian? Let's go, Bridges. Man, they need it. They need it. Tay Cowboy said, see Cat still passing the ball off. That's, you know, when a team brings a double team over to you, your job is to make the correct pass. You know? That is your job. Coward knocks down both free throws. Did they change one of their shots from a 2 to a 3 or something? They have 11 points now. 14-11. I guess my score was off this whole time. Alvarado gets it over to Anunoby, down low to Towns. Towns, now out by the three-point line, kicks it over to Josh Hart. A left corner 3, no hesitation off the catch, and he got it to go down. If only Josh Hart would be that decisive every time he wanted to shoot the ball. Or every time his teammates passed him the ball and he had enough space to shoot it. They kick it out to the right wing. Is that Kyle Anderson? A 3 for Javon Small got blocked, it looks like, by Anunoby. Over to Alvarado, down low to Anunoby. Anunoby takes the baseline, kicks it out the Bridges. Left corner 3, no hesitation. Bridges knocks down the 3. It's a 9-point lead for the Knicks, nice and early. 20-11. That's Burton. That's Tyler Burton, baby. Tyler Burton. Walter Clayton Jr. is also in the game here. Clayton has it on the right wing, gets it in the corner. A 3 for Tyler Burton. He splashes it nothing but net. Tyler Burton, if you don't know, that man is a sharpshooter. Close out on that guy, run him off the line. Ahisha with the Bahisha. Bridges has it up top, coming to his left, picks up his handle, kicks it over to Alvarado, dumps it down low to Towns. Ball gets knocked loose, saved by the Grizzlies. A turnover from Alvarado and Towns. I don't know who to attribute that to. Towns for not catching it. Alvarado with a bad pass. Cedric Coward down the lane. Gets the wild scoop reverse layup finger roll right past OG Anunoby. Doesn't even use the rim. Just gets it right up over. Doesn't even use the backboard. Gets it right up over the rim. And he gets a nice soft bounce off the front of it. Back to a 4-point game after back-to-back threes for the Knicks. Alvarado has it up top. Gets it over to Josh Hart. Josh Hart gets it over to Bridges. Bridges on the right wing, back up top to Hart. Hart being guarded by Clayton. Pass fake, driving to his left, head down, foul line, pull-up jumper. Got it to go for Josh Hart. Foonpay said, what's up with that Memphis no playlist? It's huge. Cedric Coward with a straightaway three, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound to, it looks like Omax there. Coward pump fakes off the cut. Gets blocked from behind. They kick it over to Alvarado. He catches. He pump fakes down the lane, shoves it over to Towns. Towns cross the lane, misses the finger roll layup. Loose ball. Alvarado picks it up in the paint. Pass fake, kicks it out to Josh Hart. Bullet pass inside the Towns. Towns sees the double team, throws it up anyway, and he gets the little flip shot to go down in the paint. And you can see there's a little bit of a concerted effort to get Karl-Anthony Towns the ball, although there has been a concerted effort to get Karl-Anthony Towns the ball the past couple of games or so. He has 2 points. Those were his first points of the night. 2 assists, though. So you can see the ball has been in his hands the way it has been. All right, I see some people talking about some other games going on here tonight in the chat. So let's go around the league. We got a timeout here. Let's do it. The Celtics and the Heat are, I believe, the national game tonight. Brian said Bam is allowed to pad his stats. They will lose by 50, though. 19-point deficit here early in the second quarter, 61-42. My goodness, a 53-point quarter for the Celtics? Our Knicks are struggling to get to 40. Let me scratch that. Our Knicks are struggling to get to 30 points in a quarter. And the Celtics are over here putting up 53 against the Heat, who are not that bad of a team, I'll tell you that. Kwame Robertson, what's up, Kwame? Why is Brunson out? Some rest, injury management. I believe a back thing is what he's officially listed as. Isaiah Gardner said, also, I hate how early Cat is subbing out in the first quarter, but not Brunson. The whole Knicks rotation is messed up. I completely agree with you, Isaiah Gardner. I was ranting about that all last night. I don't love the rotations either. I don't love that, if a player's got it going up, well, his time's up. His usual rotation for him to sub out, even though he just hit the last 3 shots for this team, he's got to sub out because that's what our robotic set rotations tell us to do. So that is incredibly annoying. The Hawks are also blowing out the Magic. It could be the National Blowout. Oh, you guys can see it right now. It could be the National Blowout Association here tonight. Carl James, what's up, Carl? If Brunson's out of the game, the Knicks ball rotation is good. I already explained as to why, brother. Amalin Kelly, what's up, Kelly? The score is 24-16. Knicks 5:47 left in the first quarter. Yes, sir. Jason, what's up, Jason? OMG Father said, of Trey we cooking? Trey Young playing the 76ers here tonight. These are the 3 games that have already tipped off. We just had the Kings and the Raptors tipping off, Pacers Bulls tipping off, Bucks Rockets tipping off. Late games, we got Nuggets, Jazz, and Spurs Warriors. We will not be staying up for either of those games. Here we go, we're back into it. All right, we got Tyler Kolek in the game, y'all, along with Jordan Clarkson, and Landry Shaman makes his much-awaited return. Clayton has it, dancing with it against Kolek, crosses over down the lane, leaves it off, lefty layup, lost it on the way up, but that's because Burton was fouled. Nice cut from Burton. Going to the foul line for 2 free throws here. Is that another foul on Josh Hart? I believe that's another foul on Josh Hart. I believe that's going to be his second foul. Also, Dejan Giroux is also in the game now, along with Jemai Mashak, along with Adama Ball. Again, guys fighting very hard for a playoff spot here. A playoff spot. Fighting for a roster spot, a spot in the NBA entirely. So they're going to be playing hard here tonight against the Knicks. The Knicks will not just be allowed to walk all over the Grizzlies team. They have stayed in games against good teams before. I believe they were in a close game against the Thunder. They were also in a close game against the the Nuggets. So the Knicks have their work cut out for them. They're going to have to come out and actually look to compete and play these teams. They call a foul on Ball there. Adama Ball. Fouling Karl Anthony Towns. Fighting for positioning. Mindset John. What's up, Mindset John? Knicks should win tonight. They should. They should. We'll see if they do. Isaiah Gardner said, the issue is not Brunson. The problem is with Brunson has the ball in his hands, everyone is just standing around and watching and not moving around. A lot as Josh Hart just throws the ball away. They leave it off for Giroux. Up top to Clayton, who pump fakes, pulls it back, step back three over Towns for Walter Clayton, and he knocks it down. It's a 3-point game. We talked about why the ball would probably end up moving better, and it's because they don't really have anybody to go one-on-one here tonight, and so the ball has to move if the Knicks want to be able to score here tonight. Jordan Clarkson has it on the left wing, trying to down low to Towns, cross-court pass to Josh Hart in the corner, ran off the line. Josh Hart in the paint, kicks it out to Kolek. He'll line up the three. Tyler Kolek answers right back with a three of his own. All right. Love to see TK hoop here tonight. Walter Clayton up top, coming to his right. Cross-court pass, a left corner three for Giroux. He comes up well short. Kolek the rebound. Here comes Tyler Kolek bringing it down. Kolek gets it over to Josh Hart. Josh Hart has it on the right wing. Josh Hart leaves it off for Towns. Towns up top, being guarded by Giroux. Towns swings through to his left. Bully ball down the lane. Draws a foul. It's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Karl Anthony Towns too big, too strong, too skilled. Get to the foul line, big dog. Towns will have 2 free throw attempts here. Buzzer beater. What's up, buzzer beater? Angela Harding said, glad Kolek is playing. Coach Brown did some thinking. Well, the thinking is that, Jalen Brunson's out, so next man up is Tyler Kolek. Didn't take a ton of thinking, unfortunately, for him to try something different. So Karl Anthony Towns is at the foul line for 2 free throws. He's in with only the 2 points earlier in the game. Make that 3 points. He is an excellent free throw shooter. We have 4:17 to go, so we'll take our timer down just a little bit more. Towns got the 1 free throw coming. Isaiah Gardner said, y'all got to stop that it's a whole team issue, not Brunson, on why they're playing like this. He does have a part in the blame, though. Like, they don't have Brunson and Cat, don't have a 2-man game already. I mean, everybody has to take a piece of the blame pie. Literally everybody, Brunson included. Walter Clayton has it up top. They get it over to Giroux. Giroux being guarded by Clarkson. Jean Giroux gets it over to Clayton. Clayton's going to dance with it against Shamet. Crosses over to his right. Pump fakes. Cross-court pass. Tyler Burton, a left wing three. He's open, and he knocks it down. He is a knockdown 3-point shooter. Maybe don't leave that guy when he's curling up like that. You know, especially when we have Walter Clayton Jr. already stationed in front of us. It looks like Hug Porty's at the scorer's table. Is that who I see? They get over to Towns. Towns, high post, being guarded by Giroux. Down low pass to Shaman. Nice cut to the rim. Nice pass from Towns, his 3rd assist. Shaman gets the reverse layup to go down. 31-24. Walter Clayton on the right wing. Gets caught in the air. Almost throws it away. A floater for Giroux. Towns with another rebound. Hit a head pass to Clarkson, who's bringing it down the other way. Clarkson has it on the right wing. He gets it over to Towns up top. Towns coming to his right. He's got space. Euro steps down the lane. Scoop layup. Got it to go. And the foul for Karl Anthony Towns. And he's hooping, folks. He's hooping. He is hooping. Coffinator. What's up, Kof? Joseph said, this win means nothing. This is the Grizzlies. I mean, this win means a win. So, you know, it's not like the Knicks chose to play the Grizzlies tonight. You got to win games. So the win will mean something. It'll be a step in the right direction. But will it fix all of the bad feelings we have about the Knicks right now? No, it will not. It will probably help very, very little. Even if they win in blowout fashion. Towns knocks down the first free throw. But it is a step in the right direction if they do obviously win tonight. And it goes up as a win on the scoreboard. Gillette, what's up, Gillette? A right corner three for Jorge. Can't get it to go. Long rebound. Shaman chases it down, but he can't hold on to it. It slips right through his fingertips and out of bounds. 3 minutes to go. And the ball will stay here with the Grizzlies. Jason said, if we can't beat these nobodies by boatload, I'm going to be pissed. I only know 2 guys in the game for the Grizz right now, Mashak and Clayton. Yeah, if you've not been keeping up with the Memphis Grizzlies and the G League guys, they've been given an opportunity to here with all of the injuries and trades that transpired for the Grizzlies this season. Tyler Burton is a three-point shooter. Dejan Giroux is a little bit of a do-it-all kind of wing big. Slender build as Clayton driving it down on Shamit, kicks it out the last second to Giroux. He's going to put his head down, attack, back out to Clayton, ran off the line by Shamit, kicks it out. A 3 for Burton, who can knock it down. He's already hit 2, misses that one. Fight for the loose ball rebound. Hugporty picks it up and almost throws it away. It'll go back to the Knicks, though. Jemima Shock, I'm unfamiliar with his game. So you guys can fill me in. Adama Ball is kind of a big. He's a big body. Oh, he's a guard. They have him listed a guard. Never mind. I thought he was a big. Walter Clayton Jr., we know is a guard from Florida, won the national championship last year, was drafted by the Jazz, traded to the Grizzlies here. Kino said, doing good, Knicks, keep up, win by 20 points. We could hope. Karen said, evening, all over 300 watching, only 53 likes. Hit that like, people. Appreciate you, Karen. Appreciate you. 34-24 with 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes to go here. Tammy, what's up, Tammy? Love the new things in the shop. Appreciate you, Tammy. Appreciate you. I'm pretty sure it's all the same stuff, just maybe new colors were added. Can't remember. But with the Knicks up by 10 so far against the Grizzlies, the Celtics are taking care of business, to say the least, against the Miami Heat here tonight, 70-53. My goodness, Miami. Gillette said, I'm getting that shirt. This shirt, the Knicks shirt. It's a nice shirt. Buzzer Beater said, good to see Shamit back. Yes, slowly but surely, the Knicks will indeed be getting healthy. We could very well see a fully healthy Knicks rotation for their game against the Chicago Bulls, hopefully. Eamon Owens, what's up, Eamon? It is indeed good to see Shamit back. Again, they desperately need Shamit and Deuce's defense and overall, playing hard and ball movement that they supply. Oh, Gillette said your shirt's in the store. Appreciate you, Gillette. Appreciate you. Yeah, we launched the merch store, a month ago? A little bit more than a month ago, a month and a half ago or so. Yeah, so it's up. Shirts, hats, hoodies, more stuff on the way. Overall, I'm looking into the chef's hat things, guys. We will have chef's hats up at the store at some point. It will be a limited amount, but we will indeed have it. Joe said, Shaman is a huge part of our team. He is indeed. If not for his shot making, then definitely for his point of attack defense, because this team desperately lacks point of attack defense. Ian Parkin said, I wish Brown would go on the injury list. It would have been nice to see him get ejected at some point this season to really fight for his team. Fight for your team, Mike Brown. He's got 2 technicals this season, both of them against the Thunder, funnily enough. I wish he would have picked up more technicals this year. Hugporty has it up top. Hands it off to Clarkson. Clarkson pass fake down the lane. Scoop play with the right hand. Got it to go. Big Yak said, we are doing what needed to do. Why are fans complaining? And an offensive foul is called on Giroux. Fans are complaining, Yak, because they have played pretty poorly for the last 3 games. And a win tonight will not fix those feelings, but it will be a nice step in the right direction. Yes, the Knicks are doing what they need to do right now. Kolek gets it over to Hugporty. Hugporty has it up top against Giroux. Hugporty picks up his handle, hands it off to Clarkson. Clarkson coming to his left. Swings it out to Anunoby, who's back in. Anunoby has it up top. Calling for a screen. OG Anunoby coming to his right. Sees the double team. Inside to Hugporty. Throws up the floater. Misses off the back rim. Gets his own offensive rebound. Pump fake. Goes up. Gets fouled. He's going to the foul line for 2 free throws. 2 free throws on the way. Lewis. What's up, Lewis? We definitely take These ones, this one. What are you thinking? Yeah, they should win this. They should win this pretty handedly. It should not be a very close game. This team is feisty, so they won't just give you the victory. You're gonna have to beat them. You have to play well and beat them. But yeah, they should win this without too much issue. That's for sure. Isaiah Garner said, I also think OG takes too much isolation shots. Yeah, he can. He can for sure. As Huck Porty knocks down 2 free throws. By the way, if you guys have not been locked into what Ariel Huck Porty's been doing in the G League, obviously the G League season is now over. If you didn't know, the G League season is now over. But what Ariel Huck Porty has been doing during the G League season, or towards the end of the G League season there, long rebound, Shaman picks up off the Walter Clayton miss from the left wing 3. Shaman bringing it down now. Huck Porty's been firing away 3-point shots. Maybe we get a Huck Porty 3 here tonight. Clarkson lobbed it up top to Huck Porty. A bad pass from Clarkson. Huck Porty able to recover, though, and lay it up and in. Not a great pass from Clarkson, but Huck Porty able to save it. The Knicks have a 40-point first quarter. G.G. Jackson down the lane. Ball knocked out of his hands. He's able to pick it back up. They kick it out. A 3 for Pat Spencer, and Pat Spencer knocks it down. That's not Pat Spencer. That's Cam Spencer. His brother is Pat Spencer, and he plays for the Golden State Warriors. It's Jones. What's up, Jones? How many points did Josh Hart have? I think he has 5 points. I need Josh Hart for 15. Huck Porty down the lane. Gets the layup and the blocking foul. He's going to the foul line for one more. Ariel Huck Porty has been hooping so far here tonight. He looks good. He looks really good. He said the Knicks front office needs Coach Brown to go deep into the playoffs, or the front office heads may roll. I don't think so. I think it will make their seats hot. I don't think they get fired outside of like getting swept in the first round. But their seats will get hot if they have a very disappointing playoff run, for sure. Cam Spencer down the lane, kick it in the corner, they swing it around. Walter Clayton Jr. ran up the 3-point line, down the lane, scoop play with the right hand, got it to go down for Walter Clayton Jr. And a foul? An offensive foul, a travel? Might have been a travel, they called him Walter Clayton Jr. Ball's going to go back to the Knicks. They wave away the basket. Good old man Lon Records said a 40-point first quarter is really a good thing. A much-needed performance change. Yeah. You know, 43 points so far is nice. It's solid. It's really good. As Kolek driving it down to his left in the paint, kicks it out. Anunoby, extra pass to Shaman. Shaman, extra pass to Clarkson. Clarkson catches, pump fakes down the lane, pass fake, scoop play with the right hand. Got it to go for Jordan Clarkson. 45 points in the first quarter for the New York Knicks is pretty dang fantastic. And they will have the final shot of the quarter. There's 30 seconds to go here. My timer's ahead. As G.G. Jackson's isolating against Kolek, they swing it around on a kickout. Walter Clayton Jr. switched onto by Shamit. Coming to his right now off the screen. Kicks it out to Cam Spencer down the lane. Gets in the paint. Kicks it back out. Walter Clayton Jr. the straightaway 3, and he knocks it down. Here you go. But the Knicks allowed a 30-point first quarter here for the Memphis Grizzlies, so that's a bit of an issue. Kolek, bullet pass, Shamit, right corner 3, and his first shot back, first shot down. Landry Shamit, baby, and the Knicks put up a 48-point quarter. That is the most points they've scored in any quarter this year. That's one way to get going in the right direction. That's nice. Joe said Shamit was the piece we missed. I mean, him, Deuce McBride, yeah, they've been missing a lot. You know, and I maintain, and I've been saying this all season, the Knicks are not a deep enough team to sustain multiple injuries to key rotation players. Brian Harris said, Kolek finding the open man. Tyler Kolek has how many assists tonight? 2 assists for Kolek, but he has moved the ball extremely well tonight. Shout out Tyler Kolek. Maybe he should be reinserted back in the rotation. Who knows? But, I mean, honestly, against this team, everybody's playing well so far. Tyler Kolek with 3, Shaman with 5, Clarkson with 4, Huck Porty with 7, and Anunoby with 7. Like, it's that kind of night. Everybody's hooping. Like, Huck Porty's got 7 points, guys. Like, the Grizzlies are not a good team. They're playing their G League guys. The Knicks should be able to do what they want against them. As long as we, trust each other, move the ball around, continue to cut, continue to move, continue to attack, they should be able to, put up 30-plus quarters. They scored 48 points in the first, David Oz Jr. said, he's agreeing with doing too much. Doing too much said, if Tibbs had this lineup, we probably would have went to the promised land. What are your thoughts on that, Sheffy? I disagree. I disagree pretty heavily, mostly because Tom Thibodeau's kind of offensive ethos with this team was essentially put the ball in my best players' hands and ask them to cook, you know? And I just don't think that that is a good plan that is going to survive 4 playoff rounds. It's part of the reason why Tom Thibodeau teams always felt like they consistently fell short, and it felt like the Knicks consistently fell short in every season coached by him. Going into the Miami series, what was it, 3 years ago? Going into that Miami series 2 or 3 years ago, we were like, oh, we could definitely beat Miami, and then Jimmy Butler sprains his ankle in the first game, and then the Knicks continue to like double him and allow him to get off easy for the remainder of the game. They end up losing that series, and it felt like Tom Thibodeau got outcoached by Spoelstra. The last 2 years, the Knicks got eliminated by the Indiana Pacers, and Tom Thibodeau was wildly outcoached by Rick Carlisle. And it felt like Tom Thibodeau never really utilized his bench, trusted his bench, and leaned on his starters way too much. And again, stuck with the starters for far too long, and stuck with Josh Hart playing him 40-plus minutes every single night. Did not matter if Josh Hart was playing well, shooting well, making good decisions. It didn't matter. He was going to be playing 40-plus minutes. Tom Thibodeau's a good coach, not a great coach. You know? Nate Yak said, we have a ton of bench points to start the game. As they should. As they should. This is the Memphis Grizzlies. Mo Diawara will start the second quarter. What can you give us, Mo? Carl said, Brown needs to stop listening to Rick Brunson. I mean, every single time in the post game, if like the Knicks made like an interesting rotation move or something happened, a 3 for G.G. Jackson goes down to start this quarter. Mike Brown is usually very complimentary of Rick Brunson being like, well, that was Rick's suggestion and things like that. So I don't know how good of a coach Rick Brunson is. I don't think he's a head coach material. But you might not be wrong, man. You might not be wrong. I never liked the dynamic of having a player's dad on the team. I just think that that's a very weird dynamic, but that's me. Diawara gets it over to Hukporti, mid-post. Hukporti spins in the lane, puts up a lefty hook, can't get it to go. Ball knocked out to Cedric Coward. He gets a running start with it. He's going to be bringing it down. Swings it out to Javon Small, right wing. Ran up the line by Kolek in the paint. Goes up, gets blocked, but fouled. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. David Oz Jr. said, so if Brown doesn't lead us to the finals, how do you feel? I don't think my feelings on Mike Brown will change because I don't have very strong feelings on Mike Brown. He wasn't my first choice. He wasn't this front office's first choice to coach this team. And I think he's a good coach, not a great coach. And I've not been super impressed with him this year. So my feelings about Mike Brown won't change. And I don't think he'll be fired at the end of the season, apart from an epic first round collapse elimination for the New York Knicks. If that happens, anything's on the table, but I don't think that will happen. The Grizzlies split their free throws there. It's a 14-point lead for the Knicks, 48-34. The Grizzlies score the first 4 points of this quarter, a 3 and a free throw. Bridges has it up top, being guarded by Small, swings through to his left, now crosses over to his right, kicks out to Kolek. Kolek a no hesitation 3. Kolek misses. Hukporti the rebound, tries to throw a touch pass off the offensive rebound out to OG Anunoby, who was already hustling back on defense. And Hukporti throws it out of bounds. Curtis Painter, what's up, Curtis? Russell Field, what's up, Russell? Russell Field said, can Brown get by the Pacers coach? Probably not. Rick Carlisle is still head and shoulders above most coaches in the NBA. One of the better coaches in the league. Ariel Hukporti gets a nice block on G.G. Jackson. He was driving to the rim. Ariel Hukporti playing very good basketball here tonight. They call it out of bounds off of the Grizzlies. And I believe they changed the call. They do change the call. It's going to go back to the Grizzlies here. Grizzlies. They get it over to Cam Spencer. Cam Spencer on the right wing, being guarded by Bridges. And an offensive foul on Cam Spencer. Hooking Mikal Bridges, the Karl-Anthony Towns foul. Sosa Ribeiro? What's up, Sosa? Buzzer Beater said, who should replace Mike Brown? I don't know who's available. My pick was always a young up-and-coming coach. Clearly, this front office doesn't have an appetite to develop a new coach in a championship contending season. Bridges gets a finger roll layup to go along the baseline. Nice layup for Bridges, and he gets the foul. He's going to the foul line for one more for the first points of the Knicks. Took 2 minutes to get it, but they eventually got it. 50 to 34 here, and Bridges will go to the foul line for one more. Buzzer beater, I always prefer, especially at this point for the Knicks, I thought it would have been really smart to go with a young up-and-coming coach like a Jordan Alt or a Johnny Bryant. Clearly, like I said, this front office doesn't have an appetite for doing so during a championship contending season or championship contending window here. But when they eventually do move on to Mike Brown, because he will not be here for very long, even if it's 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is, we will eventually move on from him. Suns Jets, we do like Jordan All has proven to be a very good coach. Jordi Fernandez over on the Brooklyn Nets has proven to be a very good coach. Charles Lee over on Charlotte has proven to be a very good coach. Like a lot of these young guys who've been assistants for a while are like rearing and ready to go, and have like brought this new spark and energy and like kind of a new mentality to coaching here. Bridges did knock down his free throw, by the way. And now Omax prospers at the foul line for two. And I just think like Mike Brown and Tom Thibodeau are just guys from a distant era, right? Buzzer Beaters said Chris Gent. Maybe a Chris Gent, maybe. You know? The thing is, you can end up with a Jordan All, like the Suns, or you could end up with a Lasalo, like the Grizzlies have, and that has not gone well with this team and the Grizzlies this year, right? Kollek driving it down, bump, pump fakes, fall away, jumper, got it to go. Nice move for Tyler Kollek there. We are under 10 minutes to go. It is 53 to 36, a 17-point lead for the Knicks. NBM said Chevy on the play-by-play. I apologize if it feels like I'm not super into this game here tonight, as Javon Small knocks down a floater in the lane there over Hug Porty. A nice shot for Javon Small. Like I'm not, they did knock down both free throws, so that's why it is 38 now. Diawara, jab step, taking the baseline. Nice aggressive move and got the layup to go over Cedric Coward. Look at Mo Diawara go, baby. I'm telling you, year 2, Mo Diawara is going to be special. He is going to be special. Cam Spencer pulls it out. Like I said, I apologize if it seems like during the call here that I'm not like super into the game and calling every single play in detail the way I normally do. Is Spencer turns it over, Diawara down the lane, gets the layup to go. Nice attack from Mo Diawara, got out on the break. Scores 2 baskets in a row there for 4 straight points from Mo Diawara. It's mostly because, one, it's the Grizzlies playing a bunch of G League guys. No disrespect to them. Shout out to them. They're playing hard. They're fighting for roster spots in the NBA. But the Knicks should handle this team pretty easily, and so far they have. Right? So far they have. It's 57 to 38. It's been a double-digit lead. Ever since the Knicks took a double-digit lead, they haven't really looked back since. So we can kind of just talk about the team, talk about the future. Well, I'll call the game as the game goes, but I'm not going to be super into every single play the way I normally am, because the Knicks should handle this team pretty easily. Look at the shooting splits here. The only guy who's missed a couple of shots here is Huck Porty at 2 and 5. But Anunoby's 2 for 2. Bridges is 4 for 4. Diawara's 2 for 2. Kollek's 2 for 3. It's one of those nights. The shots are going down. They're moving the ball. The players are moving. They clearly, after the game against Houston, they knew they had a second night of a back-to-back against Memphis today. Immediately after the game, they talked about how this game is a must-win game, which seems ridiculous with 5 or 6 games to go in the regular season here. But definitely felt true. It definitely felt true. Fung Pei said, ancient relics of a forgotten era, you say? A little bit. The leagues, for a while, the NBA had its coaching tree, right? And most coaches came from the Popovich tree or the Pat Riley tree or the Phil Jackson tree. And then they kind of ran the league for a couple of years there. About a decade and a half. Like, those coaches were consistently coaches in the NBA. Like, if they got fired from one team, they'd be hired for another team. Now, there's a little bit of a turnover as those coaches are now aging out, or not aging out, but kind of like leaving the NBA realm at this point. Teams are moving forward with younger coaches and looking in the next generation of coach, right? And that's where you're getting your Jordan Alts. That's where you're getting your Lasalos here for the Grizzlies. That's where you're getting... who else is a new young coach? Jordi Fernandez, Charles Lee. Like, these teams, especially these younger teams who are like, all right, well, like, what are we going to do? Hire Tom Thibodeau, 74, 75-year-old Tom Thibodeau to come coach this young team that's trying to figure out how to win? Like, that could get us to a certain baseline, but at some point we got to build up our own coach who, possibly we could have a Dagnall situation, a Mark Dagnall, who seems like he's the next, Popovich or the next Spoelstra in terms of like the Thunder found their head coach of the future, and they probably will never have a conversation about like, man, we got to move on from Mark Dagnall. Like, it's not gonna happen. Bald man, ball main. What's up, bald man? Towns hurt. Towns is not hurt. He is playing, and he's playing pretty well. Dom Anthony said, how about Phil Jackson? Phil Jackson is not coaching, brother. My guy is like mid to late 80s. He's done working, period. Skomberg, what's up, Skomberg? I thought I was going to see you in the cowboy fit because of Memphis. No theme week. No, the Knicks didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve me dressing down here tonight. Very casual outfit because the Knicks, they should just blow this team out as Bridges knocks down a right corner three, and there's a 20-point plus lead here, 22-point lead, 60-38. Here we go. Under 9 to go in this second quarter. GG Jackson, jab step down the lane, layup, got it to go over Bridges. Nice attack and finish for GG Jackson, 60-40. Buzzer Beater said, what should our record be for these last 5 games? We could take a look at it at some point. Buzzer Beater will go over it during the next timeout break. Inside pass to Diawara, leaves it off to Towns. Towns smokes the layup, misses the putback tip. Towns recovers it, goes up, and finally gets the finish. He stole an assist from my guy Mo Diawara, so I'm going to put one up there for Mo. Remember, Mo Diawara has one more assist than what the box score will say. Karl-Anthony Towns missed the easy layup for him. Towns just trying to pad his stats a little bit. GG Jackson along the baseline off the kick out, down the lane, gets the layup to go. Nice drive and finish for GG Jackson. Kolek bringing it down, gets tripped up by Cedric Coward there. Hit the floor really hard. Steven Smith, what's up, Steven Smith? What's up, Steven Smith? He said, what is the word? Mr. War Machine, what's Mr. War Machine? Everybody stands around with Brunson. He shoots 25 shots a game, and the rest 10 each. I'll tell you what, if Jalen Brunson was able to play against a tanking team here today, the ball would move around the same way it has here tonight. If the Knicks were playing as Towns turns it over, trying to tax Omax Prosper, hit ahead to L. Williamson, who gets his first NBA basket. He's on a 10-day contract, I believe. But if the Knicks could play against this Grizzlies defense every single night, the ball movement would be incredible every single night. But unfortunately, they have to play against a Houston defense and a Thunder defense and a Charlotte defense. And, that's when guys like Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and their deficiencies, as Towns gets the layup and the foul, that's when their deficiencies get exposed by good defenses. And that's when those guys, you consistently see them, take 1 or 2 dribbles and then go, oh no, I'm going to pick up my dribble because I don't have a counter to one attack towards the basket, so I'm going to kick it back out. Okay, let me give it to Jalen Brunson here. Jalen Brunson now has 7 seconds on the shot clock. Hey, Jalen Brunson, just cook, man. Just cook. Right? Or even if he has 11 seconds on the shot clock, what are we going to do? Run another set? There's not enough time. What are we going to do? Run a pick and roll with Karl-Anthony Towns, who's got a wing on him, and all they're going to do is switch or hedge out and double Jalen Brunson, then force him to give the ball up, and then there's 5 seconds on the shot clock, and he's trying to shovel it over to Towns, who's in the short roll, but a defender's already slid over. You know who's going to be open? Josh Hart. You know who doesn't want to shoot? Josh Hart. Doing too much that, talking to War Machine, you're so right about that. He doesn't trust his teammates like a true point guard should. The problem with Jalen Brunson is that he has trusted his teammates, and his teammates have consistently let him down because they have pretty blatant deficiencies in their game where they're not creators. So Brunson can give the ball to these guys all they want. The problem is that they can take 1 or 2 dribbles and then not really do anything with it or be forced to put up a really tough contested mid-range shot. And if somebody's going to shoot a tough contested mid-range shot on this team, you know who I want shooting it? Jalen Brunson. I don't want Anunoby shooting tough contested mid-range shots. I don't want Mikal Bridges shooting tough contested mid-range shots. Heck, I don't even really want Karl-Anthony Towns shooting tough contested mid-range shots. I don't. Right? If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Karl-Anthony Towns. And it's going to be Karl-Anthony Towns. It's going to be Jalen Brunson. And the reason Jalen Brunson's having to do that is because Karl-Anthony Towns is guarded with wings, Josh Hart's guarded with centers, and they completely ignore Josh Hart. And so effectively, the Knicks are consistently playing 5-on-4 on offense. And that's really difficult to score against at the NBA level. At any level, but definitely against the NBA level. Skomberg said, I get the Jalen talk, really understand. Here's the thing. His mind still thinks he has no one to help. He'll be fine when people produce. And that is complete. That I agree with that 100%, Scumberg. When Bridges is hot, Jalen Brunson has no problem giving the ball to Mikal Bridges and being like, yes, sir, cook. Jalen Brunson wants his teammates to make shots. And part of the issue is that his teammates have been so inconsistent this year that Jalen Brunson is just like, why would I give it to Josh Hart when I know he's going to turn down the open three? Right? Jaden said, Chef, can you explain to these dudes why our second quarters are so bad? Or maybe because Brunson doesn't play the first half of the quarter? I mean, our first quarters are also really bad, and Jalen Brunson plays the entirety of the first. But the problem is that this team is not coalescing. This team is not coming together. This team is not gelling in a way that they should at this point in the season. I think they had better chemistry to start the year than they have towards the end of the year, which seems crazy, right? It seems crazy that the chemistry seems to be getting worse as the season goes on, right? But there's less player movement all around between Anunoby and Bridges. They do, the Grizzlies use the challenge there, and they do take the 2 points away from Towns and call it an offensive foul on him. So it ended up being a turnover. Now Cedric Coward misses a three, and the Knicks will bring it down the other way. Alvarado is back in. Right? If you guys are wondering, beautiful pass from Towns down low to Shaman. They brought a double team to Towns. Shaman stood under the rim by himself. Bad defense from the Grizzlies. Nice pass from Towns. If you guys are ever wondering why the Knicks offense does the things that it does and players play the way that they play on offense for the Knicks, I very highly recommend you look up Shaq's NBA on Twitter. He has documented himself, like written down his own tracked stats. They're not advanced stats that he's looked up and whatnot. These are stats that he has tracked himself as Josh Hart throws a terrible entry pass to Karl-Anthony Towns in the post. And then the Grizzlies turn it right back over. And a home run pass from Towns to Bridges, and he turns it right back over to the Grizzlies. So if you guys really want the nitty-gritty on what the Knicks offense does and why it operates the way that it operates and why Brunson does the thing that he does and Towns has played the way that he's played this year, I highly, highly recommend, if you really want to know the nitty-gritty, you need to go follow and check out @Shaq's NBA as Coward knocks down a mid-range jumper. Like I said, my guy has he'll Substack link of a play, breakdown, and stories. He works with the Strickland or whatever. Works with Strickland. Go to his Substack, read his stuff. Again, he will tell you exactly the plays that they run. He's got clips to point out exactly what they do. He will write a very detailed report of why things work and why things don't work. Literally go follow him on Twitter. Go look up he will give you the exact names of these plays. If you want to be more enlightened on offensive basketball, read @Shaq's NBA. Right? Like I can talk till I'm blue in the face and try to describe it to you guys, but you can see with your own eyes with the clips that he's provided and the words that he's written and the literal stats that he himself have tracked and recorded. They're not stats he's looked up. It's not stats he went to NBA.com to find or anywhere else. He sat down with a notebook and a paper and he wrote them down as he watched the games and went back and analyzed it. Go read people who follow this basketball team at a high level, right? Like this is what I do. I don't know everything. I don't fully understand everything that I see, but I can go to people like @Shaq's NBA. I can go to other people that I follow on Twitter and understand the game at a higher level, especially after the game, where it's like, why did the Knicks play so poorly against Houston? And then you could really see what worked and what didn't work. By the way, Mashai just knocked down a three. It is 69-54, 15-point game. Jason said, I can't deal with the Brunson slander. It's insane. I mean, I agree, Jason. There are criticisms to levy at Jalen Brunson. Heavy criticisms we could levy at Jalen Brunson. Of course there are. 100%. I do it all the time. But the things that some people have talked about in the chat just aren't very factually correct. And again, if you really want to break down and see and read a breakdown of the Knicks offense through somebody who tracked it all season long, go read Shaq's articles this year. Go to his Substack. Go read what he's written. They have attempted very, very hard to get Karl-Anthony Towns as involved as possible in the offense. And Towns the way the Knicks are guarded because of the limitations of a lot of the other players on the team, between Anunoby's on-ball creation, Mikal Bridges' on-ball creation, Josh Hart's inability to be aggressive with the ball in his hands offensively and shoot the ball, has allowed teams to just singularly focus on Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, which has kind of just dissuaded them, not like made it impossible, but it's completely dissuaded the New York Knicks from running any actions between Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. When was the last time we saw Brunson and Towns run a regular pick and roll? When was the last time we saw it? Right? Part of the reason why we don't see it is because they put a wing on Towns, they put a wing on Brunson as Alvarado gets fouled, going to the rims, going to the foul line for two. They put a wing on Towns, they put a wing on Brunson, and anytime they want to try and run any kind of two-man action, teams just switch it. Because, okay, what do we end up with? A different wing on Brunson and a different wing on Towns? We're fine with those matchups, right? So the Knicks have just actively gone away from any kind of play sets that have Brunson and Towns interact offensively there. Alvarado knocks down the first free throw, he's got another one coming. And so what you end up with is when we're running offense through Jalen Brunson, Towns goes to stand on the wing or in the corner, right? Or on the opposite block. And Brunson then runs a two-man game with Josh Hart. Why does he run a two-man game with Josh Hart? Because usually the opposite center, the team center, is guarding Josh Hart. Brunson wants to go at the center as a guard, which makes sense. Most guards want to do that. They want to bring the centers into actions. Towns, a bullet pass down low to Sham, he stops in the paint, flips it up, can't get it to go down. It's 71-56. Right? And when they're featuring Karl Anthony Towns, it's usually Jalen Brunson standing on the wing or in the corner. And it's Josh Hart or Anunoby trying to dump the ball down low to Karl Anthony Towns, who aren't very good interior passes into the post. The Knicks have been, and this is why we had the conversation that we did the other night against Houston about the Knicks often playing into the hands of the opponents, not forcing the issue, right? Alvarado driving it down in the lane, layup, got it to go for Jose Alvarado. Nice drive and finish. It's Jones. Jalen Brunson is not playing today. No Jalen Brunson, no Deuce McBride, no Mitchell Robinson. Walter Clayton down the lane, pump fake, kicks it out to Giroux, who loses the handle on the ball. Out of bounds, going back to the Knicks. Skomberg, get those likes up. Appreciate you, Skomberg. If you guys are enjoying the show so far, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I'd very much appreciate it. Towns with a nice slip pass, rolling to the rim, gets a big one-handed hammer. Back to 19. Giroux down the lane, kicks it out. A right corner three for Mashak. Misses it. Rebound to Giroux, I believe. Gets stripped by Alvarado. And Alvarado gets it over to Hart. Hart bringing it down. Hart kicks it out to Alvarado up top. Alvarado dancing with it up top. Gets it over to Hart. Hart gets it over to Towns. Towns high post. Being guarded by Giroux. Towns swings through to his right, blows right past him. Another big one-handed hammer for Karl Anthony Towns. And he's taking some frustration out here tonight. You love that. We love that. 13 points for Towns. 13 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. This is the number I love to see. Because when they are bringing the double team over, he's making the right play, and his teammates are finishing those plays. Just that's Mikhail's best game of the year. What a joke. Low-key, everybody's best game of the year right now. Jaden said, I can't wait for the playoffs when Yara begging for Brunson to get us 30. That's what Jalen Brunson does. That's what he does best. Why would we ask Jalen Brunson to step away from the things he does best? These were not criticisms of Jalen Brunson that we heard last year in the playoffs. These were not criticisms of Jalen Brunson we heard the year before that in the playoffs, or the year before that, or the year before that. Just that's it. Up 21. It's okay. I'll get 150. They do have 77 points with 2.5 to go here in the second. It's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. The Celtics still dominating against the Miami Heat here tonight. 95-77, 18-point lead. I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility they can make this comeback. But they did lose the second quarter, and you can't be losing quarters after you go down by 20 points in the first. 53-33, so. Here we go, and Jorge has it up top. Jab step coming to his left, slip pass down low, swing, kicks it out, swings it around, loose ball on a bad pass. Jorge picks it up, back to Walter Clayton, catches, pump fakes, driving to his right in the paint, gets caught in the air, bullet pass, kicks it in the corner, a three. I think that's Javon Small. Who's that young man? He misses it, and the Knicks are bringing it down the other way. They got the 21-point lead. And Alvarado has it on the left wing. We got under 2 minutes to go. They lob it over to Towns. Towns in the paint, sees a double team, kicks it out. Extra pass to Anunoby. Anunoby will take the baseline, bullies his way in the paint, gets stripped by Jorge. Good hands from him. Grizzlies are off and running. It's a 3-on-2 fast break. They struggle with their handles. They get it down low to Burton. Burton with the layup got it to go over Bridges. MBM said a relaxing game. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Towns turns it over in a bad pass. Here come the Grizzlies yet again off the turnover. Burton hesitates from three. Good job from Bridges to dissuade him from doing so. And then the Grizzlies turn it over. Alvarado does a good job getting back on defense and steals the ball. Alvarado has it up top. Hits Anunoby cutting back door. Loses the ball. They're diving on the floor, and the Grizzlies end up stealing it away from the Knicks. And now the Grizzlies have it up top. Burton gets it over to Clayton. A cross-court pass. They catch it. Down the lane. A floater. Drew the foul. And the layup over Mikal Bridges there. Mikal Bridges not playing some very good defense here tonight. Not good defense. Anunoby holding his right wrist. And he's got a little wrap on his wrist. We don't love that. We don't love that. Angel A1 Jerome. What's up, Angel? Bridges should have gotten a night off for a mental break. Let go of that Iron Man streak, decompress. He will never let go of that Iron Man streak, and so he has to let it go. If he's able to play, he's going to play. Anunoby comes up off that last offensive play holding his wrist. We don't love that, man. We don't love that. You got to be fully healthy going into the playoff run, man. Great. Get off my lawn records. Dropping 56 in the first half. They're just not playing defense, apparently. Not good enough. Not good enough defense. 17-point lead, though. Not going to complain about that. 45 seconds to go. Off of the missed free throw, still 77-60. Alvarado has it up top. Alvarado dancing with it. Kicks it over to Bridges. Right corner three for Mikal. Too strong, can't get it to go. Towns, the weak side rebound. Now he's going to attack in the post off the rebound. Shovels it down low to Bridges. Mishandles the pass, and then gets fouled going up. He's going to go to the foul line for two. Another nice pass from Karl-Anthony Towns after seeing the double. Jason said, you guys are acting like the team is just better without Brunson while we play. This god-awful team is laughable. Yes. This is a bad Grizzlies team playing G League players and guys on 10-day contracts. Literally, they put up a graphic before showing all the guys on a 10-day contract. 10-day contract, 10-day contract, 10-day contract, 10-day contract. The Knicks better be able to move the ball around against this team. Doing too much. Said, nobody on here ever stated that they were better without Brunson, but we're just stating facts. If Brunson is the number one, we won't win it all, just facts. I disagree with that. I don't think it's facts. I think we got to stop using that word to mean like that's my opinion. You could have that opinion. You could have the opinion that you don't think that Jalen Brunson is good enough to win a championship as the number one option. That's fine. That is a perfectly legitimate opinion to have. It is not factual, though. That is not factual at all. That is opinion. That is a subjective opinion. Walter Clayton has it up top, gets fouled by Alvarado. Good off my lawn records, and I think Brunson has the heart of a champion. The future is bright. Hopefully the future is bright. The Knicks, Bridges did knock down both of those free throws, by the way. 79-60. The Knicks are kind of like in their prime and maybe even the back end of their prime, right? So I don't know what the future per se holds. This is kind of like a short window for the here and now. And then they'll have to pivot off of this core into something else. And that's, like a lot of people are like, oh, the front office got to be fired. The front office will not be fired. They built the championship team. They built a team capable of winning and at least competing for a championship. Now, whether they will be able to pull it off is another question. But the front office will not be fired. When the front office will then be called into question will be whenever it's time to move off of Mike Brown, who is their third hire? Because I think if they don't hit on that third hire, it will likely end up being the last time they hire a head coach. And how do they pivot off of this core here, right? Because the best front offices is Bridges fires from the half court, can't get it to go down, and that'll be the end of the first half there after the Grizzlies knock down both of their free throws. It's a 17-point lead, 79-62. The Knicks scored 79 first half points. You love to see it. The front office will be judged on their third head coach and how they pivot off of this core. That's when the front office will be brought into the light and questioned the most, right? How do you pivot off of this core? And who is the coach that you hire that will take, that is hopefully their final hire, right? Because Tom Thibodeau was always a bridge coach. Mike Brown is definitely a bridge coach. You want to be able to find your Jordan Alt, your Charles Lee, your Jordy Fernandez, your young up-and-coming coach who you could feel like your Eric Spoelstra back in the day, who you feel like, okay, this is our head coach for the next 15, 20 years. You know, that's where you want to be as an organization. The Boston Celtics with Joe Mazzulla. How am I forgetting about literally one of, if not the best, young coach in the NBA right now who's going to win Coach of the Year this year, at least he should, in Joe Mazzulla, right? Like, you want to be able to find your next Joe Mazzulla. Ian Parkin said, these dudes are crazy. Brunson is one of the top 5 players we've ever had. Yeah, he's definitely already in that ranking. Pat Ewing's number 1. I got Clyde Frazier as number 1. I got Willis Reed as number 2. They delivered a championship. I believe that stands for something. Even though I think Patrick Ewing is better than Willis Reed. Actually, I'll go Clyde Frazier 1, Pat Ewing 2, Willis Reed 3. And then after that, you have whoever you want to take. If you want to take Bernard King and then Melo, or if you want to take Melo and then Bernard King, I don't really care. I think it's whoever you decide. That's fine. You have an argument for that. And then you have Brunson is in that conversation as well. If you want to have Brunson at 4 over both of those guys, you could absolutely do that. He's definitely had more playoff success than both of those guys. So you could combined. So you could definitely have that. Got over on line record said Deuce and Mo are both very young. Yes. Well, Deuce is like 25 years old, which is not very young, but decently young. Mo is very young. He's 20 years old, youngest player on the team. And both are very young. I know the Nova boys are starting to age and Cat is starting to decline, and I agree Mitch is going to retire before we know it, probably. Mitch doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to hang around like a DeAndre Jordan for 15 plus years, though maybe. He clearly does really love basketball, right? But I think he loves other teams more than he loves doing other things in his life more than he loves basketball. My guy Ed Tigre with a very generous super chat. Appreciate you, Ed Tigre. He said, "What up, Chef? I'm here. Just can't take all the losses." I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. Crandon said, I was hoping the Knicks would take care of the Rockets the other night. You and me both, Crandon. You and me both. Oh, real quick, we are in halftime. So as we go through our halftime show here, as always, let's go over here. Our halftime rundown is presented by our guys over at Get Off My... Jeez Louise, I hit the pole over there instead of the green screen. Our halftime rundown is presented by our guys over at Get Off My Lawn Records. Please, just go ahead and check out my guy over at Get Off My Lawn Records. Check out their website, getoffmylawnrecords.com. You can listen to their music, the Jazz Destroyers. You can listen to any of their other artists' music. You can sign up for their mailing list, and you will then be notified whenever they themselves, the Jazz Destroyers, or any of their represented artists drop new music as well. You also check out their YouTube channel, see if you vibe with their content and their music as well. The Jazz Destroyers have their own YouTube channel, as well as Get Off My Lawn Records has its own YouTube channel. And they were also generous enough to give us a 20% discount code. Use promo code Sheffy at checkout when you are shopping over at bandcamp.com. It applies site-wide, and I very much appreciate them doing that for us. So thank you guys, and check out their website, getoffmylawnrecords.com. Very kind of them. Get On My Lawn Records says, Mitch does his trucks, the basketball built his trucks, pretty much. Well, he's talked about he loves his trucks, he loves his daughters, I think he has multiple daughters, and he loves basketball. Those are the 3 things he loves in his life, so. Crandon said, our team's taking turns being inconsistent. If there were any team to trade, for 2 teams to trade with, it was the Knicks and the Timberwolves, who have proven to just be the 2 most inconsistently great teams and possible championship contending teams in the NBA. Like, you watch the Wolves on any given night, and you're like, yeah, that team can win a championship. And then you watch them the next night, and you're like, oh, this team's going to get eliminated in the first round, right? And the same with the Knicks. The same with the Knicks. Get Off My Lawn Record said, this halftime, if someone could tell me when the last day of the season is, I was planning on dropping the next one during the playoffs, maybe. I can tell you right now, my guy. Not schedule. We don't want to go to schedule. Let's stay here. All right, there we go. Let's stay here. Let's open up the Knicks. We can check out their schedule here, and we can see when the last game. The regular season ends Sunday, April 12th. Knicks will be playing the Charlotte Hornets at 6 p.m. Jay said, I agree it's not optimal in today's NBA, but you make it sound like the dude is hurting the team and using this game as a benchmark. Who's that? The dude is hurting the team. Who am I making it sound like the dude's hurting the team? Who are we talking about? He also said earlier, Doing Too Much said, so Sheffy named the last time a small dominant guard was the number one option and won a chip, not named Steph Curry. Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas? You have to be an exception to the rule, but that does not mean that it's not possible. You literally said, name the last time it happened except for the last time it happened. But yes, you have to be an exception to the rule. For sure. For sure. Joe, what's up, Joe? Charlotte is going to be tough for whoever they get to play. Yeah, absolutely. I hope it's going to be Houston. That'll be a fun first round. I mean Houston. Detroit. And I still think Detroit wins it, but I think it would be a very fun, very physical first round for sure. Young On, what's up, Young On? What is this halftime show? Not much. There's really not much to go over here tonight, so we don't even really have to break down the box scores, although we could. We could check it out real quick. The Knicks are up by 17 points here, 79-62. 13 for Towns, 7 boards, 5 assists, 5 turnovers. Why did the Knicks not get the ball to Karl Anthony Towns more often? Why did they not just give it to him in the post and let him cook? This is against a really bad defensive team, by the way. Really bad defensive team. And yet, you know, you wanted them to give the ball to Karl Anthony Towns more during the Thunder? Like, yes, we need to find ways to get Karl Anthony Towns easier opportunities, maybe popping out for threes more often and whatnot, but this has been an issue for him consistently throughout his career. They are playing through Karl Anthony Towns here tonight, and every number outside of this looks great. 13, 7, and 5 in the first half is great. If he replicates that, he's looking at a 26, 14, and 10 night. He's looking at a triple-double possibly, right? Those are great numbers. But this is a problem. This is against a really bad defense tonight. They gave up 79 first-half points to the Knicks. It's a bad defense and they don't have a matchup for Towns. And yet, Doing Too Much said he's no Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas was never ball dominant. Yes, Isaiah Thomas was not as ball dominant as Brunson, but he also got to play next to Joe Dumars. Please can we please trade for a Joe Dumars-esque type of player? Please, for favor. I'm begging. Like, if Jalen Brunson had Joe Dumars next to him, guess what? He wouldn't dominate the ball nearly as much as he does now. Get Off My Lawn Record said, you need some kind of tip on that pointer? Very true. Very true. It's just this little, like, fuzzy tip that sometimes I accidentally pull off. But I do. I do indeed. This was literally just the last second thing. When I set up the green screen and I was, like, experimenting with it before the season started, because I was like, all right, how do I want it to look? How is it going to work out? I was like, I need something to point to other than my hand, because what if it's all the way over there? I could do this, right? So it was literally a last-second purchase. I could definitely go out and get a better pointer. Also, this like rubber part at the end is also coming off now occasionally. It's supposed to be glued on. You're not supposed to be able to peel that thing back, but you know that's what you get. It was like a $7 thing. Jason said, I'd take prime Klay Thompson. Yeah. I mean, Bridges is supposed to replicate to some degree what Klay Thompson was able to do back in the day. Obviously not nearly the shooter he is, but could theoretically be just as good of a defender or even more of an on-ball creator the way he was in Brooklyn. And his last season with Phoenix even as well showed a lot of promise in that regard. And he just has not done that. He's just completely shied away in that regard this season. Get off my lawn. I guess you got one of those foam number 1 hands. I do, but it's too big. It's just too big. Is it over here? It's not over there. It is probably in the closet. Hold on. Let's see if it's readily available. Is it in the closet here? Where's the foam finger? I do not know where the foam finger is. I do know where the foam finger is. I got it. It's too big. The foam finger is too big. Look how big it is. Hold on. Hold on. This is what blowouts are for. Yeah, it's too big. I mean, I guess I could, like, super glue it in there, and then it'll permanently look like this, but it's too big. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. We'll hold it here. We'll hold it here like this. Russell feels that the laser pen might work. Probably not. Probably not on a green screen. I could try it out. Nick Yak said, winning rebounds incredible. 21-6. 21-6 is crazy. By the way, everybody has scored tonight for the Knicks. This is the jam-packed, powered defense we're going up against here today. Mark, what's up, Mark? Precious with 18 and 15. Precious is more than capable of putting up numbers, for sure. Can he impact winning? A little bit. Doing too much that. I love all my Knicks fans. We just got to get it right and fast. Winning fixes all. If the Knicks suddenly went on a nice hot streak, we wouldn't be having these conversations. But because they're losing, we got to find somebody to blame. We got to find something to blame. So I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all for trying to find something to blame. Brian Harris said he had more opportunities with Phoenix and definitely with Brooklyn. He could have similar types of opportunities here. They just wouldn't be as voluminous. Voluminous. But it wouldn't be to the degree that he had in Brooklyn and Phoenix. But that should also help his efficiency, right? Because he doesn't have to do it every single play the way he did that last season with Phoenix when they were dealt with injuries and the year and a half that he was with Brooklyn, or 2.5 years, however long he was with Brooklyn. He doesn't have to do it to that degree. But he never does it with the Knicks nowadays. Never. It's never at that point. Boza Beater said, we need Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is one of my favorite players in the league. I've been a huge Cade Cunningham fan since I found out who he was in high school. Followed him to Oklahoma State. And huge advocate for Cade Cunningham, even when people were doubting him earlier in his career. Huge advocate. I'm going to keep the foam finger around. I'm going to keep it around. Ian Parkin said, it wasn't your coverage. If it wasn't for your coverage, this season would not be fun. It's not been the easiest season to cover. There's obviously been a ton of peaks that we have absolutely had a ton of fun with. There's been a 9-game winning streak. There was the NBA Cup tournament and ultimately the championship. There was a 7-game winning streak. There was, multiple times where they played really well, but there have been so many valleys with this team. The 2-9 stretch was like some of the toughest basketball I've had to cover just because, you get to a point where you have certain expectations, and to see your team go 2-9 over 11-game stretch was rough. It was rough. Kay Hayes said early season was fun. Early season was very fun. It was new. It was fresh. They were trying things. The ball movement was flying around. Mike Brown was experimenting. It was very fun. Very fun. Ram Jam. What's up, Ram Jam? Crandon said, seems the Knicks will stay the 3 seed. I don't know. I don't know. We go to the standings. It is very close. The Cleveland Cavaliers are 1 game behind the New York Knicks. They are 1 back in the loss column. The Knicks drop 2 in a row, and Cleveland doesn't. Cleveland will then be the 3 seed. Now, the Knicks have the tiebreaker over Cleveland, so if they end up tied, the Knicks will still stay the 3, but it is not promised. It is for sure not promised. Keith said, what did you retire your draft to the pastures? The draft is still here. He just doesn't really have a spot with the new green screen setup, right? Because the green screen only stretches so far. So my hand starts to get cut off around there. That's as far as the camera can capture with the green screen setup, and then my hand goes to about right there. That's as far as the green screen can capture. So there's not really a ton of space to have him up here also without just straight up blocking certain information. I already do enough blocking of the information, so. Curtis Painter said, people forget we've won the only cup available so far. Very true. Very true. Russell Field is up, Russell. How many games left to the playoffs? Go back to their schedule. If we exclude the Memphis game here tonight, they have Chicago, Atlanta, Boston, Toronto, and Charlotte. They will have 5 games remaining after tonight, including tonight at 6. After tonight, 5 games remaining. Joe said, who would you rather see in the second round, Boston or Detroit? Give me Boston. Detroit, it just has not seemed to be a good matchup, but obviously both of those teams will be very difficult to play in the playoffs. There's not really much to go over. It's Blowout City. National Blowout Association is in full effect. Although it's a 10-point game, okay, Miami. I see you, Miami. They put up a 45-point third quarter, coming out firing. 10-point game going into the fourth. Pull off this victory against the Celtics after they put up 53 in the first quarter, and I'll have a ton more respect for the Miami Heat, baby. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Anybody watching that Celtics Heat game, fill me in. This is an ESPN game, by the way, so fill me in on what's going on there. Do they have a chance? They played better? What's going on in that one? We'll obviously keep an eye on it as the night goes on. Outside of that, you got... Let me put the foam finger away now. I'm like holding it up. And my thing's lost inside. Okay. Bruce Fowler, what's up, Bruce? All right, here we go. We're back into it. Pull this up. Who is that young man? Prosper. Max Prosper got all the way to the rim for the layup to start the third quarter here. Bruce Fowler said, I know this sounds unfair. Just sat down, but after a putrid stretch of basketball from my team, it's going to take more than this game to take the taste out of my mouth. No, we have the same, absolutely same opinion, brother. We talked about it in the pregame where it's like the Knicks need to come in and handle business for sure. Towns snagged an offensive rebound and got the putback. They need to come in and handle business, but almost nothing that they could do. Like, they could win this game by 50 points. And it won't take the sting and it won't take the taste out of our mouths of the previous 3 performances that they put up during this West Coast road trip. It was not good. It will not help towards the end of the season here with the way that the Grizzlies have been playing and the players that they have available to them. And why is my score so off? They Prosper had a 2, and then they just hit a 3 there. So it's 81-67 and an off-ball foul, and Prosper trying to hold off Karl Anthony Towns, having 2 hands on him. I think you're completely right and completely justified in feeling like the Knicks can, and they have, can continue to blow this team out here tonight, and it's not really going to change any feeling we have towards this team moving forward. They got to continue to string together games. I will say it'll be a step in the right direction. Not a big step, not a long step, just one singular step, but, you got to start somewhere. And if they start with a win tonight, they're going to have to stack wins moving forward in order for us to really be like, oh, hey, there's our Knicks again. There's the confidence. There's the optimism we could have with this team. Chaos Kid, what's up, Chaos Kid? Christian Blazes, a Christian 12-0 run by Miami in less than 2 minutes. Keep me filled in on that one. Obviously, we'll tune in during the next timeout break around the league and see where that's going at some point in the fourth quarter there. AP, what's up, AP? Cam Spencer, behind the back pass. Prosper, the straightaway 3, comes up short. Rebound to OG Anunoby over to Bridges. Here comes Mikal Bridges. Out to Josh Hart. Over to Towns. Right corner. Pump fakes. Attacking to his left. Down the lane. Leans in. Leaves it off. Alvarado in the paint. Layup. Got it to go. Nice last second pass from Karl Anthony Towns. Nice layup for Jose Alvarado. 16-point lead. By the way, only a 16-point lead. Alvarado with 9, Bridges with 17, Towns with 15, 8, and 6. I want to see a triple-double from Towns. I do. Doing too much said we are with you on that. We need a streak of wins and big wins, not just by a little, for sure. Absolutely. Well said. AP said, for me, this season has been a disappointment. Yeah, I don't blame you in feeling that way. This team was supposed to be better than they have been. Their record is supposed to be better than they have been. They were supposed to be more consistent. especially in the latter half, post All-Star break. Like I expected inconsistencies pre-All-Star break because you bring in a new coach, a new system, a new defensive system, new role players. They had a mid-season trade acquisition, Jose Alvarado, that was pretty sizable. All those things could have played a factor in them being inconsistent, and I would have been fine with that. That 2-9 stretch, no explanation for it. Literally unexcusable. And then these last couple of performances here, really poor performances, inexcusable. Them walking around talking about like, yeah, we're still trying to figure things out as a team. We got to come together more. And it's like, brother, we got 5 games left in the regular season. What are you talking about? You know? So yeah, it has been a bit of a disappointing season because they're not supposed to be experiencing the things and saying the things that they are saying and experiencing right now. Towns with a handoff to Alvarado as he goes all the way to the rim for the scoop layup. You love to see it. And that is some of the most frustrating part about this team, and can lead to disappointment. G.G. Jackson tries the Euro step down the lane, and he draws a foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. We got 9:30 to go here in the third. Ian Parkin said, win every game for the rest of the season, and I'll feel a little better about our chances. I feel pretty good because they got, tough games coming up. They have the Hornets game, the last game of the season. They have the Celtics game coming up. They have a Toronto game that's tough. They have an Atlanta game that's tough. So if they run the table towards the end of the season for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game winning streak, number one, they'd win 54 games this year, and they'd completely tank my guy Keenan Harta's bet of 53.5 under. But also, like, they would get to 54 wins this year, and they'd end the season on a nice win streak against really good, solid competition. I don't think that will happen. But if it did, that would go a long way for me feeling better about this team. The Grizzlies split their free throws there. Towns across the lane, and he travels with it or steps out of bounds. Either way, it's a turnover on Towns. Yet another turnover on Karl-Anthony Towns. Mike said, too late to find out. If you don't know by now, you don't know at all. Mike said, what's up, Knicks Nation? What's up, Chevy? What's up, Mike? Andrew Brooks. What's up, Andrew? Bruce said, remember the cup? Me neither. OMG. Let's never do that again. Yeah, let's just have let's just try to win the games that matter. And if we end up losing in the cup next year, we end up losing in the cup next year. Let's not go all out as if it's a real championship for next season. We won one, and you got one. We don't ever really have to go for it again. Max Prosper knocks down a 3. Guess what, guys? This is a 12-point game. This game's not a blowout. So for all the things we talked about, like, oh, yeah, the Knicks, they're dominating the Grizzlies here today. It's a 12-point game. Towns has it up top, swings through to his left, through the defense, down the lane, lefty layup, can't get it to go, gets his own tip, up and in, there you go. Cat, being aggressive. Cam Spencer over to G.G. Jackson, putting his head down, attacking Anunoby in the paint, gets the easy scoop layup with the right hand. Get my guy Mo Diawara in the game, man. OJ Anunoby holding on to that wrist occasionally. Don't love to see that. Get him out, get Mo Diawara in. James said, cardiac Knicks, here we go. Yep. Towns has it up top. Gets it over to Anunoby. Anunoby on the right wing, to his left, over to Towns. Towns up top, swings through to his right. He's got a lane to the basket. Pass fake, kicks it out. Josh Hart. Right corner 3 for big. Josh comes up short, long rebound. Josh Hart recovers it. Tried to shovel it inside the bridges. It gets knocked out of the air. A bad pass from Josh Hart. A bad decision. Yet another turnover. They leave it off for G.G. Jackson. Catches, pump fakes to his left. Kicks it out to Javon Small. Javon Small being guarded by Towns. Catches, jab step, step back. Left wing 3 for Javon Small. Got it to go. It is a 9-point game. It's a 9-point game. And I never restarted the timer, my bad. But I forget who asked it earlier in the stream, and I said we check it out at halftime, and he never did. But let's search up Knicks team stats. I don't even... I guess I could look that up on ESPN, by the way, anyway. Right? Yeah, stats. Team turnovers is what we want to look at. Team turnovers. As a team, the Knicks average 13 turnovers per game. As a team, the Knicks average 13 turnovers per game. Fung Pei said, "Grats, Grizzlies, single digits." All right, right, let's see if the Miami Heat are actually making a comeback or if that was just a nice spirited run. It just seems like it was a nice spirited run as the Celtics, immediately jump right back up to 16 here. 9:30 to go in that fourth quarter. Not over yet, but uphill battle to climb here for the Heat. The Knicks allowing the Grizzlies to make a nice spirited comeback here. Hopefully they do something similar to the Celtics did, although you can't really have full faith in them. Hopefully the Knicks can do something similar by like, okay, nice run Grizzlies. Let's go ahead and take a 15-plus point lead from here on out. Buzzy Beater said, are you a full-time content creator? No, sir. No, sir. We still got our daytime job, brother. I wish this channel made enough money for me to be full-time, but it does not. It does not. Even though it is a one-man band and all the money goes to one singular account, it's still not enough. Not nearly enough. If you really wanted to know, this channel makes approximately like $700 to $800 a month. That's it. Sons Jen said, just checking my AI results. It says that other than cat, this game contains no gummies or bogeys. I still don't know what you guys were talking about the other night. And honestly, at this point, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. AB said, this is a lot of turnovers. The Knicks are turning the ball over a large amount here. So we checked out, they averaged 13 turnovers on the season. I'd be interested to see where that ranks in the league. I'd assume that's somewhere around average, maybe slightly above average. But overall, Towns has 6 turnovers tonight against a really bad defense. But yeah, guys, let's continue to give the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns. That's the issue with the offense. We don't give the ball to Towns enough. 6 turnovers for Towns tonight against a really bad defense. And the Knicks overall have 12 turnovers so far tonight. Karl-Anthony Towns has half of the Knicks turnovers. Half of them. Buzzy Beater said Memphis has a solid core to build around. Do they? I mean, I like Cedric Coward. I like Zach Edey. It remains in question whether or not this guy could actually stay healthy. Sham it off the swing, has it on the left wing. He's going to dance with it. Didn't want to take that 3. Kicks it out the Bridges. A right wing 3 from Mikal Bridges. Comes up short. Do they? We'll see what they do after this John Moran situation plays itself out. Is he staying here? Is he getting traded eventually? Burton down the lane. Can't get the layup to go. Josh Hart recovers the rebound. Over to Anunoby. Down the lane. Draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. Rose Pierce said, I'm a full-time content consumer, and I don't get any money. I wish. Lee Wei, she said, what did I miss? Knicks turning the ball over. Grizzlies knocking down a couple of threes, and then they got it back down to 9. Now Anunoby at the foul line for 2, trying to knock it back up to double figures. He knocks down the first one to get it to 10. Got another one coming. AOD, what's up, AO? Here come the mighty Grizzlies. Here they come. I talked about it earlier in that they won't just give the Knicks this victory. Like, they gotta pull it off and win. They're gonna have to play hard. This is a feisty Grizzlies team. They're not just gonna roll over. We win over as Anunoby misses the second free throw. All these guys are, two-way guys or on 10-day contracts or just got to the team. They're fighting to stick around the NBA. They're fighting for an NBA contract. They're fighting for a training camp invite. So they're playing extremely hard, even though they necessarily don't have the talent that should be able to match up with the Knicks. Even with the Knicks, all the the 3 players they're missing from the rotation tonight, they should be able to still win decisively. Bridges gets it up top to Hart. Hart over to Alvarado. Alvarado on the left wing. He's going to pull it back up top. 6:40 to go here tonight. We are approaching the halfway point of this third quarter. Bridges down the lane, draws the foul. They call it travel, actually. It is not a foul. It is a travel. Bridges going to the bench saying he didn't travel. I doubt they challenge it, though. Let's see the replay. There's the dribble. There's the gather step. And then there's the 1-2. I don't think that's a travel. I definitely wouldn't challenge it, though. Mike said the Knicks are not locked in. They are an average playoff team, and they will be lucky to get out of the first round. I disagree about lucky to get out of the first round. I think they will be favored to get out of the first round, no matter the opponent, except for maybe Charlotte. But because Charlotte's actually pretty dang good. The Knicks battling for a loose ball, couldn't pick it up off the missed 3 rebound and lays it up and in is, I believe that is Jemima Shock, I believe. Or maybe that's Adama Ball. Not entirely sure who these young people are. Especially, it becomes a little more difficult considering that they don't have any updated pictures of some of these guys. Again, a lot of these guys on 10-day contracts. Anunoby left corner 3, can't get it to go. Knicks firing away from 3 and missing. Zene, what's up, Zene? The Knicks are actually winning? Don't jinx them, Zene. Don't jinx them. Because the Grizzlies are making a comeback here. It's an 8-point game when it was previously a 22-point game. Cole Lake, Clarkson, and Diawara at the scorers table. 3-point pump fake. They kick it up top to Mashak. Mashak. It's a shot clock violation. Play-in. Caught a grenade. Off the loose ball situation. Threw it up at the rim. Didn't hit the rim. Hit the backboard. Ball back to the Knicks. 5:30 to go. Mike said the Grizzlies beat Boston about 2 weeks ago, and they looked good. Fair. Doing too much said, man, 5 first-round picks, and the comment disappeared somewhere. But we talking about 5 first-round picks. We talking about Mikal Bridges. And Mikal Bridges got 17 points tonight. But this, to me, is always the biggest issue with Mikal Bridges is like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? No rebounds, no assists is crazy to me. No rebounds is crazy. Like, if the assist, fine. You're scoring tonight. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. As Cole gets all the way to the rim for the scoop layup. Where the heck are my rebounds, Mikal Bridges? My goodness, can you help out on the glass? Giroux struggling with his handle. They swing it around. Down the lane in the paint. Floater off glass. Got it to go. Mo Diawara not protecting the rim. He's kind of in there as the small ball center. Josh Hart will bring it down. $90-82, 4:41 to go. Then they said, watch the Knicks go crazy in the playoffs. I hope so. I hope they pull themselves together, man. Doing too much said, man, Bridges be acting up on the court most nights. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Yep. Sons Jen said, I still believe. I still have the belief, but they've sapped a lot of my optimism for them, for sure. Hard to sit here and be like, no, guys, trust me. They're going to figure it out. When there's 5 games remaining in the regular season, and a lot of the post-game comments after last night's game, terrible performance, was like, oh, yeah, we still got a lot to figure it out. And, like, yeah, we're still finding our places on the court. It's like, guys, we're 70-plus games into the regular season here. What are you talking about? Corey Skeet, what's up, Corey? Zene said they will. I'm sure this team will get it together. I hope so. I'm rooting for it. They show up when the lights are brightest. They do indeed. I will say. For the most part, when push came to shove, and it was a very big game, the Knicks, for the most part, have showed up this season. But that is the frustrating part. That is the frustrating part where it feels like, okay, you also need to continue to build good habits against not the primetime games and, maybe the middle of the road teams. Like, you need to be able to find ways to win those as well, Jove said, I think that's why the Knicks play terrible in the regular season. Most of the time, I think it's because they don't want to get injured. They want to stay healthy for the playoffs. You got to be able to find a balance to do both. And if you're more focused on staying healthy and you cost yourself some regular season games, it's going to hurt you in the long run because you are not going to be, they could have been the 2 seed. They'll probably end up being the 3 seed, but they could also probably might end up being the 4 seed. And that'll hurt you. Son Jen said, sky high expectations lead to deep disappointment at decent results. Yeah. But expectations come with the territory of being a contending team, right? If the expectation is contention and you give us mediocrity throughout the regular season, we're going to look at you sideways. I don't think the fan base is off balance for expecting more from their team. When they themselves have said, we're singular, like everybody, from top down. Literally, the owner went on a radio show and said it. The front office guys have said it. The players have said it. The coaching staff has said it. They've all said some version of, we're singularly focused on winning a championship this season. So, okay, there's your expectation, right? And if you provide mediocrity, we're going to look at you sideways like, what are you doing? This is not what we asked of. We're back into it, and I forgot to change the score. It is 90-82. They kick it out. Diawara, a three, throws up an air ball. Not what you want to see. Where's Hug Porty? Why are we going small? Why is Diawara in at center here? Walter Clayton runs over Cole like they swing it around. Nice ball movement for the Grizzlies. A left corner three, can't get it to go. Boxing it out. Clayton knocks it in the air. Kolek fighting for it. Loose ball. Out of bounds. It's going to go to the Knicks. I guess we'll take it. No, it's going to stay with the Grizzlies? No, it's going to go to the Knicks. Doing too much. The playoffs, I think, benefited us, to be honest. Or THB? Okay. Because the game slows down and we are a really good half-court offense. Most of the time, they're a really good half-court offense. These past couple of weeks, it's not been great. Kolek down the lane, leans in, throws up the floater off the back of the rim, doesn't get the friendly bounce. Kolek knocks the ball out of the air, battling for the rebound, and it's out of bounds, going back to the Grizzlies. Under 4 to go. It's an 8-point game. Buzzer Beater said, are we going to mess around and make this a close game? It's already too close of a game. It's an 8-point game with 4 minutes to go here. Dom Anthony said, I don't see much confidence in any writers that the Knicks get past first round. I think there's decent confidence, and we don't know who the matchup are. We'd have to wait to see who they end up playing to begin with out of the play-in situation. The Grizzlies swing it around. Walter Clayton, bump, floater from the foul line. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Anunoby. Why are we going small? I thought Hug Porty played really well in the first half. Anunoby down the lane. Can't knock down the running floater towards the rim over Giroux. He grabs the rebound and he shot out of a cannon, pushing it the other way. Kolek forced to pick up. He's going to look to attack. Leans in. Leaves it off. Down the lane. A layup gets fouled by Tyler Kolek. And that's Giroux. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. I'm all over the place in calling some of these guys. I don't know them, though, so I apologize to these guys, but shout out them for playing hard. We got 3:18 to go here tonight. MBM said, fan bases are emotional on every game. Process takes time, trial and error. Adversity and loss are all necessary steps. No cheating in the process. That's a great comment for game 53. Not really trying to hear it for game 75 or 77 or wherever we're at right now. I think this is game 76, You're not really trying to hear about the process and the adversity and the ups and the downs. It's like, no, but play better basketball. We got a couple of games left at the end of the regular season here, The Knicks are carrying themselves as if they've won a championship before or have at least been there and are saving themselves for a playoff run. A shame it throws it away. They've never been there. They've never been there. So they don't get the benefit of the doubt, unfortunately. Bruce Fowler said, did we as New York fans see this team through orange and blue glasses? Maybe that's why everyone hates us, because they're like, they ain't that good. No, Bruce, I think the thing is that they've had really high peaks, but they've also had really low valleys. They've had moments where they've looked incredible. They've blown the San Antonio Spurs out twice this season. They would have swept the Spurs all 3 games they played them as they knocked down a 3 here. It's a one-possession game, guys. One-possession game. Shaman a left corner 3. Got it to go. And he got fouled. All right, now we're going to get a 4-point play from Shaman. Knock down your free throw, please. We've seen them beat the Spurs for the NBA Cup. They were up by 16 points in the fourth quarter against the Spurs on New Year's Eve before Julian Champagnie turned into Klay Thompson and went off for 11 threes or so. The Knicks also played terrible defense on him that night. But we've seen they would have beat them that night in dominant fashion if it wasn't for Champagnie having a career game. And then they dominated them when the Spurs came over to New York. Yeah, so, they've had moments where it's like they've dominated Denver, the both matchups they played against them. They absolutely, Shaman misses the free throw, Hug Porty with the offensive rebound, back to Shaman, quick catch and fire, can't get that one to go, and it goes out of bounds. So they've had moments like that. They've also had moments where they were 2-9 over an 11-game stretch and lost to the G League Dallas Mavericks in January. So it depends on what version of the team you watch on any given night. They can look like one of the best teams competing for a championship this year, Or they could look like a team that's going to lose in the first round to, like, literally anybody. I was trying to think of the worst team that's going to be in the playoffs this year, but literally anybody they could lose to the first round to if they play poorly. Because when this team plays poorly, man, it looks ugly. Worse than any other teams play poorly. A 3 from Cam Spencer can't get it to go, but the offensive rebound goes to the Grizzlies. Kolek comes out. Oh, a travel is called against the Grizzlies. The ball's going to go back to the Knicks with 2:19 to go. Curtis Painter said, I walk out of the room for 5 minutes and now it's 3 points. Yup, Curtis. Absolutely. 6 points now after that Shamet 3, but Rudy Bobai, what's up, Rudy? I think teams already know what to do with Brunson in the playoffs. Matching JB with big guys, which I noticed he has trouble with. I mean, does he have trouble with? He's been going up against those exact same big guy lineups, big wings for 3 years straight in the playoffs. And he has found ways to dominate despite that. Knicks off with 2 offensive rebounds. Kolek leaves it off of Clarkson. A floater. Got it to go. Beautiful pass from Kolek. Nice drop-off pass. 95-87. It's back to 8. Can you get another stop and a score and get it back to double figures and then don't look back in the fourth quarter? Shamet comes up with a steal. Shamet has been huge here in this last little stretch. Anunoby down the lane. Kicks out to Shamet at the last second. He pump fakes. Sets himself. Fires a 3. Comes up short. Clarkson the offensive rebound, though. Clarkson driving to his right, down the lane, draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line for 2. Give me the 10-point lead, Clarkson. Give me that 10-point lead with a little over a minute to go. Doing too much that he's talking to Jason. I don't know what Jason said. Shout out Jason. Namar said, I agree. Better win this game. Better indeed. Nikki said, do you think it would benefit us to be the 4th seed? No. I don't really subscribe to that. I think you should just want to be the highest seed you can get and go into the playoffs. If you fancy yourself a championship contending team, you want as high of a seed as you can get so you can get as many home playoff games as possible. Because just go to win your matchup. If you think you're a championship contending team, you should just be able to win your matchup and make the finals, Clarkson knocks down the first free throws. You got another one coming. Knicks up by 9. Please give me the 10-point lead. David Hodge Jr. said Atlanta's a tough team. They are indeed, and we will be seeing Atlanta very soon. Sean Edits, what's up, Sean? These Knicks kind of trash. Incoming Giannis? You mean the same Giannis Antetokounmpo who's been injured for the ending of 4 straight seasons now? 5 straight seasons? This marks the 5th season in a row. He's been injured at the end. That same Giannis? I love Giannis. Favorite player in the league to watch, but G.G. Jackson misses a layup at the rim. Kolek, bullet pass, Clarkson in the corner, pump fakes, over to Anunoby. He'll line up the 3, OG Anunoby. Comes up well short. Looks like that wrist is still bothering him. Clarkson did knock down the free throw, by the way. It is a 10-point game. And not for long as Cedric Coward knocks down a right wing 3. Doing too much there. Mike Brown's play calling and substitutions are very bad. I can't comment for the play calling in particular, but I do agree on the substitutions. Don't love them. David Hodge Jr. said Zion over Giannis. Depends on what you're giving up for Zion. I wouldn't give up Karl Anthony Towns for Zion Williamson myself, but that's just me. Namar said, I would worry Celtics because Heat are getting beat by them. Yeah. The Knicks are not the Heat, though. Kolek knocks down the first free throws at the foul line for 2. Got one more coming. Sean said Brunson-Giannis combo is scary. Is it as scary as the Giannis Dame Lillard combo? Because that wasn't that scary. Corey Skeet said Spurs Celtics, I think, will be the finals, but you never know. You never know. East is wacky this year for sure. It's a wacky East this year. Gigi said, forget Giannis, empty the bank for Jokic. Anyone could be included in that package. Jokic is retiring with the Nuggets, brother. He is not going anywhere. Kolek does knock down both of his free throws. In the paint, Javon Small. They kick it out. Anunoby with a rebound. Who was that young man? Prosper. Omax Prosper butting up against Shamet there. The Knicks wanted an offensive foul. Nothing was called, but Kolek has it up top for what should be the final shot of the quarter here. 10 seconds to go. Kolek being guarded by Coward. Kolek, dancing with it. 5 seconds to go. Coming to his left. No pass possession for Kolek. And he gets blocked out of bounds by G.G. Jackson. Namar said, trade for Kevin Durant? Brother, please. Please. Scomberg reminding people to like button. Appreciate you, Scomberg. Appreciate you. Crandon said, like we beat both the Thunder and the Spurs, but give me games like the Pelicans and lose to them. I was like, what the heck? Yep. When it comes to the Timberwolves and the Knicks, you don't know what you're going to get on a night-to-night basis, man. You really don't. Sean Edit said, Lillard only wanted to shoot, so all you had to do was double-team him. Brunson is more versatile. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't think all Lillard wanted to do was shoot. I think that's just a very difficult dynamic because Giannis doesn't really want to set screens. They get it into Shamet. Shamet can't get the reverse layup to go. It ends up being a wedgie, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. 9-point lead for the Knicks, 99-90. I think Lillard is versatile enough. I don't think all he wanted to do was shoot at all. Giannis doesn't really want to set screens and roll to the rim all game long. Like, he wants the ball in his hands as well. And it would just be a very similar dynamic where it's my turn, your turn kind of a situation. Because Giannis isn't a typical big. Giannis is kind of like a point big, kind of like a Jokic kind of thing, where like the ball is going to be in his hands and the offense will surround him. So will Brunson be more giving than Giannis in that regard of like, okay, Giannis, you do your thing. But again, Giannis has been injured to end the season for 5 straight seasons now. Sean said, Lillard doesn't even go to the rim anymore. Port is setting the screen. I mean, Lillard doesn't really go to the rim anymore because there really isn't space in the paint as much as there used to be. Also, he's not a spring chicken anymore. But neither is Brunson. Neither is Brunson, who's now in his 30s. David Raj Jr. said, so who? We'll cross that bridge when we get there in the offseason. I don't know. That's part of the issue. What is out there? Like, this front office is going to have to get really creative. But also, there's going to have to, like, somebody's going to have to just become available. Right? Somebody's just going to have to become available. Somebody is always suddenly available. Crandon said, Ant-Man is staying in Minnesota. We ain't giving him up for anyone. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Not anytime soon. Maybe we could have that discussion later on down the line if they become a bad team. But as long as they're good and in the playoffs, Ant-Man ain't going anywhere. I assume that Celtics game ended. It did indeed. They ultimately blew it back open up by 18. 147 to 129. 147 points is insane. That's insane. They scored almost over 30 in every quarter, including 53 in the first. The Hawks blew out the Magic. Another really rough loss for the Orlando Magic and continue to slide here. The Hawks continue to soar. Here come the Hawks, 44 and 33. 76ers, 153 points. What's going on with the scores in the NBA? 153 to 131. No defense being played in that game. They scored 35, 38, 47, 33. My goodness. The Nuggets are beating up on the Jazz. The Rockets are beating up on the Bucks, although it's only 11. As the Knicks will bring it down here to start the fourth quarter. The Pacers are up big on the Bulls. Love Indiana winning games down the stretch here, baby. I love it. Well, I'll tell you why when we get to a timeout break. Alvarado will pull up 3, can't get it to go. Bat on the glass for the rebound. Huck Porty able to win it. Kicks it out to Anunoby for a 3. He misses it. Huck Porty knocks the rebound over to Anunoby. Cross-court pass to Bridges. Right wing 3 for McHale. Got it to go for Mikal Bridges. There you go. He's got 20, y'all. Mikal Bridges with his first 20-point game in, I can't tell you how long, but I can tell you it's been over a month. It's been over a month. And then a turnover for Cedric Coward and the Grizzlies. Ball will go back to the Knicks. Nikki said, you think we keep Mitch in the offseason? Depends on, how negotiations go. Really depends. Depends on what other teams offer. I could see it going either way. I think Mitch is a bit of a loyal guy, but obviously only to a degree. Bridges wide open right wing 3. In and out can't get it to stay, but Anunoby right there for the two-handed putback slam. The Knicks are up by 14. Gigi said, Brunson ain't playing, everybody eats. No, that's not really how it's going to go tonight. The way it's gone tonight is the Knicks are playing a terrible defensive team in the Memphis Grizzlies and their G League roster, so everybody should be eating for sure. Bridges gets fouled on the pass attempt. Opponents matter, guys. Opponents matter. A pretty big deal. If the Knicks were without Jalen Brunson versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'd be surprised if the Knicks would be able to score 90 points in that game. Daniel dashes of Daniel. Kawhi, Kyrie, and Kuminga to the Knicks. I don't know why you threw Kuminga in there. The other two, I guess, sure, but... Gigi said, Knicks fans want Giannis, but as soon as he has a couple bad games, fans want him gone before the trade deadline, just like they wanted the best shooting big man in NBA history gone. I don't know if the Knicks fans really wanted Karl-Anthony Towns. I could tell you for a fact, you can go look up, every time the Knicks played Minnesota, when Karl-Anthony Towns was still in Minnesota, I was very profusely against Karl-Anthony Towns being traded to the New York Knicks. I have never really been a fan of his game when he was with Minnesota. I will say I have grown a great appreciation for Karl-Anthony Towns since he's become a Knick. Being able to have the privilege of watching him on a night-to-night basis has made me really appreciate his game more than I did previously. But I was never in favor of trading for Karl-Anthony Towns. As a matter of fact, I was not excited at all when that breaking news came across. Crandon said Kuminga has been consistent since leaving the Warriors. Has he been consistent? Let's check out their box score tonight. What did Kuminga do tonight? 12 points, 5% from the field. No rebounds, 1 assist. I can't really comment on any kind of, was he playing good defense? Was he, active and involved? 0 rebounds tells me not really, but I didn't watch the game. 5% from the field is nice. Hitting a 3 is nice, but 12 points and not really much else after that is like, I don't know about that. He was their leading scorer off the bench, so that's something. He has a nice big body who's aggressive. That's another thing. But hard to really tell on a night where you won by 29 against the Magic. Magic continue to slide, man. What did Banchero do? Franz Wagner's back at least. He was 0 for 6 from 3. He's not helping. Paolo with only 11. Man, he has been stinking it up lately. They had their full complement of players. Suggs, Bane, Wagner, Banchero, and they got wiped off the floor. Mo Wagner as well, also back. So they have their full rotation of guys available to them, and they are still getting smacked up. That's not good. It's not good at all. So Memphis used the challenge there. No foul on the Memphis Grizzlies. No foul on the Memphis Grizzlies, and imminent possession goes back to Memphis here. So Lasalo and the Memphis Grizzlies end up winning both of their challenges tonight. Down the lane, and G.G. Jackson gets blocked. Hit a head pass to Alvarado. Alvarado in the paint, leaves it off to Bridges. Bridges along the baseline, loses the handle. After all of that, here come the Grizzlies. Javon Small, step back 3 over Hug Porty on the switch, and he got it to go down. Mike said, why are we always in a rebounding mode? In a rebuilding mode? The Knicks have not been in a rebuilding mode in like 6 years, brother. They call a moving screen on OG Anunoby. Buzzy Beater said, Mitch can't play when we need him. Mitch has played in every single game the Knicks have needed him in this season. And he will play in every single playoff game this year when they need him. You think him not playing tonight against the G League Grizzlies is when the Knicks need him? By the way, Hug Porty, I think, has been very good tonight. Hug Porty, 7.6 boards and an assist. I think he's been perfectly fine, perfectly capable as the backup center tonight. Also, where is Karl-Anthony Towns? I feel like he hasn't been in the game for forever. Brian Jacobs said it wasn't Randall for Cat, though. It was Randall and Dante for Cat. It was indeed. It was indeed. Jaden said, this isn't rebuilding mode. This is win now mode for sure. Absolutely. I don't know why you would think this is rebuilding mode. Rebuilding mode is what Washington is doing. Rebuilding mode is what this Memphis Grizzlies team is doing. Kolek tries to kick it out to Alvarado. Pass was a little off, but Alvarado able to save it into Anunoby. Anunoby steps back for a three. He has not hit once since hurting his wrist. But right there, he knocks a three-point shot down. There you go, OG Anunoby. Cam Spencer step back three over Kolek, and Kolek gets hit with a foul call, and Cam Spencer will go to the free throw line for 3 free throws. Star said if the Knicks aren't winning by 20 plus by fourth quarter, it's not a good sign. Gigi said, let me be clear, Knicks would have not be in Detroit if it wasn't for Cat. Changed my mind. This is very true. Karl-Anthony Towns hit very important clutch shots in those fourth quarters against the Pistons last season. Also, if it weren't for Karl-Anthony Towns, the Knicks probably get swept by the Indiana Pacers in the conference finals. Down 0-2 in Indiana, down 20 points in the fourth quarter, and who steps up to lead the charge on the comeback? Karl-Anthony Towns. Cam Spencer knocks down the first two. My guy Sons Jen with a very generous membership. My guy re-upping his membership 2 months. Appreciate you, Sons Jen. He said, hope all are well tonight. Even the haters. Appreciate you, Sons Jen. Appreciate you. Kolek goes to the bench. Shamet comes back in. Spencer. Why is my score off? Did they knock down a two earlier? They didn't give it to him. He now knocks down these 2 free throws. Now knocks down the third free throw. It is 98 to 107. And Jose Alvarado will bring it down. Where's Karl-Anthony Towns? We got 9:15 to go here. Why is my timer still going? Alvarado down the lane, throws up the floater, got it to go. Nice move from Jose Alvarado against G.G. Jackson. Like to see Jose Alvarado get a lot more aggressive and physical, go into the basket, and a lot more confident with his jump shooting. Obviously, a very small team tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies, able to get to the rim and finish here tonight. Omax Prosper back out to Spencer. Spencer coming to his left, picks up his handle. He's got nowhere to go. Good defense from the Knicks. Over to G.G. Jackson. Catches, spins, coming to his right against Alvarado. To the lane, lefty layup. Got it to go. Nice finish for G.G. Jackson there. G.G. Jackson has always intrigued me going back to his college years. His college year, I should say. Georgia, I believe, right? Alvarado up top, driving to his right, takes a bump, and kicks it out at the last second, so it'll be a foul in the pass attempt. 8:36 to go. Doing too much that I'm really starting to think, Sheffy, that OG is very overrated for the contract that he got. Yeah, I mean, it was an overpay. They had to overpay for OG Anunoby because other teams were willing to overpay for OG Anunoby, so they had to at least match the money that other teams were offering in order to retain him. But Anunoby has a very, very distinct weakness that makes players like him look not so great against good defenses. And that is the fact that he is a very limited ball handler and creator, right? Doesn't have much of an in-between game as well. Or at least a consistent one. And when you get paid, when you have a $200 million contract, you kind of got to be a two-way guy. And sometimes it feels like he's a one-way guy. And that's just not good enough. Cedric Coward up top, coming to his left off the screen, driving it down in the paint. Baseline, follow-away jumper off the one leg, overhug 40, can't get it to go. Good defense from the Knicks. Alvarado quickly throws the outlet to Anunoby. He's going to bring it down, who struggles with his handle, almost lost it, kicks it out to Alvarado. Alvarado hands it off to Anunoby. Catches it on the run, runs right into Coward, and they call a charge on Coward. And Coward can't believe it, and I got to agree. I think that's a charge on Anunoby. But the Grizzlies are out of challenges. And a technical on Lasala. That is absolutely a charge on OG Anunoby to me. But Knicks catch a break. Chandra Williams, what's up, Chandra? Detroit in the house, what's up, Chandra? Hoobian said, what happened to the lead? The Knicks just slowly gave it back away to the Memphis Grizzlies. That's what they do. We just yapping. What's up, yapping? Josh Hart got benched? Not really. Kind of regular rotations. No, as Anunoby knocks down the technical free throw. No Josh Hart either so far. I mean, no Karl-Anthony Towns yet either. Just regular rotations, which I don't know why you run regular rotations with those guys when you're down Jalen Brunson. Like, get Karl-Anthony Towns in the game. Supa, what's up, Supa? Why is Towns still on the bench? Brown coaching is awful. I've been asking the same question, Supa. I've been asking the same questions. Where's Karl-Anthony Towns? There he is. He's going to come into the game after that foul. He's now in the game. They lob it down low to Bridges. Bridges gets the layup to go on the lob pass, on the inbound lob pass from Jose Alvarado. Nice play, a nice screen set for Karl-Anthony Towns there. Nice play to get Bridges going to the rim. He got open. And Alvarado delivered an on-point, on-target pass. Javon Small, Euro steps down the lane against Alvarado, gets the lefty layup to go. Here comes Jose Alvarado pushing it the other way. Senton Melnak. What's up, Melnak? He said, Knicks are embarrassing. They can be. They can be as Anunoby knocks down a left wing three. Hopefully the Knicks, this is the start of them starting to blow it open again. And a foul is called on Towns. Javon Small up top. Get it over to Omax Prosper. Attacking Towns. Leans in. Layup. Can't get it to go. Anunoby the rebound. Gets it out to Alvarado. 7 minutes to go. Sean said Knicks defense got to be on point on the playoffs or they're getting cooked. Yep. I mean, it's all got to be on point. You're not winning in the playoffs unless your offense and defense are connected. G.G. Jackson down the lane, tries to draw the foul, doesn't get the foul call, but he does get the little floater to go over Shamit. And it's back to 9. Oh, it's 11. I'm sorry, I can't do math. 115 to 104. Towns hands it off to Alvarado. Alvarado draws a foul. We got 6:42 to go. We are approaching the halfway point of this. Greg Williams, what's up, Greg? Grizzlies used to give the Knicks trouble with Zach and Gasol. They gave everybody trouble with Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. They gave everybody trouble back in the day. Towns has it up top. Coming to his left. Spinning to his right. Cedric Coward jumped his ball handling, knocked it away. Coward down the lane. Gets the finger roll layup to go. And the foul on Alvarado, who's going to the foul line for one more. This is a feisty team, but not a good defensive team. And for everybody who is like, listen, all the Knicks got to do is give the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns more. This is why they don't force feed the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns more often. 7 turnovers against the bad defensive Grizzlies team is pitiful. That's bad. It is the main reason why this is a 9-point game and not a 19-point game. You can't have 7 turnovers in a game, man. Against this caliber of team especially. Right? Against a good defensive team, I could make the case, right? Yeah, they applied a ton of pressure. That could happen, sure. Maybe you just have a bad game as well. Maybe they had a great defensive game plan as Bridges gets to the rim for a 2-handed slam. But against this Grizzlies team, 7 turnovers? But yeah, we should just dump the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns in the post all the time, right, guys? Grizzlies have it. They kick it out to Giroux. Giroux back inside. Right scoop layup for, I believe that is Williamson. That is Williamson. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws as he's fouled by Karl-Anthony Towns. Under 6 minutes to go. Anunoby with 17. Towns with 17. Mikal Bridges leading the way with 24. Shaman with 13. Alvarado with 13 as well. Crandon said, once playoffs brackets are set, are you going to do more than just one first-round matchup? Absolutely, Crandon. Absolutely. We're going to cover as much basketball as possible, especially that first round where there's going to be rapid-fire games all day. Chandra said, Detroit's going to bring the rings home this year. We'll see. We'll see. They have a pretty good chance having the best record in the East this year. Williamson knocks down both free throws. It's his first NBA game, by the way. They get it to Towns on the right wing. Towns. Pass fake, keeps it, hands it off to Bridges. Bridges over to Alvarado, over to Shamit. Shamit in the left corner, swings through to his right. Pump fake, spins. Alvarado lines up the 3, off the catch with the buzzer expiring. Can't get it to go. Battle for the rebound. Anunoby saves it. Out to Shamit. Shamit's going to drive it to his left, kicks it out to Bridges to his right. Right corner three from McHale. Can't get it to go. A rebound to Giroux. Giroux's pushing it the other way. Giroux in the right wing. In transition, Coward pump fakes to the rim. Gets blocked by Bridges. Towns was also there. Not sure who got it, but either way, here comes Mikal Bridges. Over to Shamit. Extra pass to Alvarado. Wide open right wing three. Line me up. Can't get it to go. And a loose ball foul on Cedric Coward trying to keep Karl-Anthony Towns off the glass. And the ball will stay here with the Knicks. I don't know, it's 2 free throws. It's a foul. It's a block on Bridges, by the way. Towns was also there. But 2 free throws for Karl-Anthony Towns as the Grizzlies are now in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter with 5 minutes to go. Buzzer beater said, I can see OKC repeating. Absolutely. I'm with you. They are indeed the favorite, and they should be the favorite. Towns misses the first free throw. He's got another one coming. Doing too much that, yeah, this was one game that Cat should have shown out. He can't say much now. He plays, his play hurts us most of the time. They're, you know, obviously you need Karl-Anthony Towns to win. I'm not saying shy away from him or they've used him correctly or they've shot away from him in the right way or anything like that. But clearly they can't just give the ball to Karl-Anthony Towns in the post the way a lot of us, including me at times, a lot of us just said. Obviously, there are times to do so and times not to do so, but playing through Karl-Anthony Towns pretty consistently winds up in scenarios where he, you know, tonight against a bad defense, he's got 7 turnovers. This should have been a much easier game than it has been so far tonight. But again, the Grizzlies are funky. They are feisty. They play hard. I've talked about it all night. I'm giving the Grizzlies their flowers and credit here. These G League guys are battling for their NBA lives, man. And they've picked up victories against teams they shouldn't have won. They've been in games they shouldn't have been in. I think somebody pointed out that the Thunder lost to this Grizzlies team not too long ago, I think, or the Celtics, I think, lost to this Grizzlies team not too long ago. Anunoby in the paint gets a 2-handed slam. There you go, OG. And that's great. But the Grizzlies did not play well to start. The Knicks had a 22-point lead at one point. It should not have come back down to single digits like this. The Knicks, I have not been concerned at any point tonight. Haitian Mike with a very generous super chat. Appreciate you, Haitian Mike. Thank you for that, brother. Didn't even leave a comment, but I appreciate you, Haitian Mike. Thank you for that. But, you know, they're going to pull off the victory. It should have just been a little bit easier than it has been tonight. And Karl-Anthony Towns can't have 8 turnovers in a game. Can't happen. Against a bad defense, it can't happen. Clap. Zon Coke, what's up, Clap? Cat needs to drop 5 points. He's got 18 right now. 18, 9, and 9. He's 1 assist and 1 rebound away from a triple-double. Can we get Karl-Anthony Towns his triple-double, man? Can we get him his triple-double? I know I'm harping on his turnovers tonight, but my guy's hovering around the triple-double. Can we get it for him? Can somebody knock down a shot for him off a pass? I'm sure he'll grab 1 more rebound in 4.5 minutes to go here. Anunoby with 19 and 12. 12 big old rebounds for OG Anunoby tonight. You'll love to see that. Mikal Bridges with 24 points. That's nice, but 2 rebounds, 1 assist is always going to bother me. Jose Alvarado with 13, 3, and 3. And Landry Shaman with 13, 3, and 1. Suns Gen said it's a cat nightmare. They're dropping him off on Shutter Island. Sean Edit said Brunson's about average, 35 to 40. I think he can do it, though they're going to put Cat in foul trouble in the playoffs. I don't know. Cat has done a really good job of staying out of foul trouble as of late, while also playing solid defense. Stupa said, I have Towns for a triple-double for $500. There you go. Hopefully it worked out. Hopefully he gets it. I'm rooting for you, brother. Sean said, Brunson's 29. Brunson feels like he's 32, though. 29 is a lot younger than I thought he was. Brunson's in his prime. He is indeed. Although players age differently. But yeah, the Knicks should still have a pretty sizable window for the next 3 years at least, right? Chichi said, Knicks will surprise everyone once they get to the playoffs. Once the playoffs begin. What if they purposely playing like this to throw coaches off? Then it'll be the greatest coaching job in NBA history, if that is indeed, and the greatest on-court performance, acting performance from any team I've ever seen. to lean on the ropes like this, only to explode come playoff time, would be the greatest coaching and acting job I've seen from any coach and group of players ever perform. Motivation man with the motivation. Omax, one more attempt. Shaking my head. We'll see. Sean Edit said Cat needs to learn the hook shot. That's his problem. He's got a little mini hook shot in his repertoire. Doesn't go to it super often. Walter Clayton kicks it out to, I believe, Giroux. They kick it back out in the paint. Spin. They kick it out. Left corner. A three for Giroux over Towns. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Alvarado. Nice box out and rebound for Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado will bring it down in a 12-point lead on the 4 minutes to go here. Lee Wei, she said, Knicks really have to work on their three-point defense. Yeah. I mean, their overall rotations always feel like it's a step slow. Alvarado in the paint, low pull-up jumper, got it to go. Jose Alvarado, comfortable with the ball in his hands, is honestly an incredible development for the Knicks because they're going to need him, man. They're going to need him. Suns Gens, how about the Wolves losing 4+ straight games to the Suns and then sweeping them in the first round? Yep. How about the Knicks not being competitive in any games against the Celtics last year, Suns Gen, and then beating them in 6? Arlene Sellers becoming a member for the first time. Appreciate you, Arlene. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for that. A lot of generous people in the chat here tonight. Thank you for that, guys. Chandra said, I think that the Knicks can beat the Celtics, but not the Pistons in the playoffs. We'll see. Anunoby hits another three. It is now 125 to 108. 17-point lead has been built back up by the Knicks. Great. Winding this one down. Anunoby gets the steal. Home run pass to OG Anunoby. He's going to go up. Gets chased down, blocked. What a chase down block for the Grizzlies. Now they're pushing the other way. They shovel it over to Giroux, a left corner three. He knocks it down. What a block. What an extra effort play. 2:35 to go. Mike said, players only meeting every single game. I mean, they're together all the time. I'm sure they're having meetings all the time to some degree, right? There really isn't anything left to be said 70-plus games into a regular season. You kind of are who you are at that point. And the Knicks have proven to be the most inconsistent team in the NBA. Anunoby knocks down a left corner three and then stares down and says something to the Grizzlies bench. Somebody on their bench is probably barking at him, and he had something to say about it. Daniel Dash said 4 or 5. Yeah, well, I've been generous with money and time. Appreciate you, Daniel Dash. Appreciate you, brother. Bruce Fowler said suggestions in the chat that the Knicks are employing the rope-a-dope. They might, man. He might. We'll see what they look like come playoff time. We have 2:10 to go here. 2:10 to go. Defense Rams. What's up, Defense Rams? Daniel Dash, my guy, as always, brother, as always. As always, my guy. Been a member for a while. 2-3 months now, Daniel Dash. Appreciate you, brother. Been very generous. Always in the chat as well, my guy. Mindset John, is Mikal going to step it up for the playoffs? That would be great. He did last year. Right? He had a pretty miserable season last year, and he stepped it up. By the way, Karl-Anthony Towns has just ran past the triple-double number. 18, 11, and 11 for Karl-Anthony Towns tonight. There you go. There you go. Now he might be able to get that triple-double. If we can get 2 more turnovers for Karl-Anthony Towns, get that faded triple-double. Karl-Anthony Towns, only 7 turnovers. Only 7 turnovers for Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't think he'll get 3 more in the final 2 minutes here. So we're just gonna have to be satisfied with a triple-double for Towns. Sean said, it's really Mikal's fault why the Knicks don't blow everybody out. The starters produce, but not him. Well, there's reasons for it. It's not necessarily Mikal Bridges' fault entirely. There's a lot of things going on with that Knicks starting unit that holds them back overall. As well as, like, them just flat out not executing well enough. Oh, my goodness, Super! With an incredible super chat. My goodness, brother. What generosity. By the way, the Grizzlies knocked down a 3 and a foul? No, they didn't knock down the 3, but they got fouled. My guy, Super. Incredible generosity. He said, sharing the blessings. Enjoy your commentary and objective perspectives. Wish you nothing but success, brother. Appreciate you, Super. Appreciate you, man. My goodness. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. almost makes a 3-game miserable stretch from our Knicks a little more tolerable. Incredible generosity, Superman. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'll be able to go to sleep with a smile on my face knowing we got people like Super out in the world. Thank you for your generosity, man. Tony Madrano, what's up, Tony? Brown is waiting for the playoffs to start using the fast-moving ball that made him successful at the start of the season. Yeah, I talked about this the other night, Tony. I'm with you. The ball was whizzing around far more as Cam Spencer knocks down both of his free throws, far more to start the season than it has been as of late. And he has talked about, Mike Brown specifically has talked about how he has simplified the offense and moved some stuff around and moved players around within the offense to sort of, have guys more comfortable and put guys in spots where they would overall be more comfortable. And that's great and all, but it's simplified our offense and it's taken away some of the unpredictability and movement that they had to start the year. Also, like the Knicks have, teams have scouted the Knicks and know kind of what they do, where they want to go, and how they want to play overall. It is 128-115, by the way. 1 minute to go. But, yeah, there's a little unpredictability that seems to have disappeared with the Knicks. Teams know exactly where they want to go and what they want to do, and I think partly because the Knicks have worked to simplify their offense, in Mike Brown's own words, to better help certain players on the team be more comfortable within the offense. 1 minute to go. Towns fakes the pass, goes down to the rim, throws down a one-handed hammer, and Karl-Anthony Towns officially gets a 20-point triple-double here tonight. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Cam Spencer gets it over to Omax for a three. Omax Prosper misses it. Battle for the rebound. Cam Spencer able to pull it out. Inside to Omax for a two-handed slam. Ends up hurting his hand on the dunk. Daniel Dash said they're obviously coasting through the regular season. No one wants to get injured. And missing a championship, especially post-NBA Cup, that effect was exaggerated in the AFL, in the AFL, higher injury toll. This really happens every season. Yeah, but there are games you get up for and play well in against the top-tier teams in the NBA. And the Knicks, especially post-All-Star break, feels like they haven't really done that enough. Alvarado fouls Prospers. He gets a finger roll layup at the rim. 130 to 119 with 23 seconds to go. My timer's up, but game's still going. Mindset John said, we've been playing from behind too much. Let's change this in the playoffs and surprise teams. It's been a nice run listening to your stream. Sheffy, have a good night. Appreciate you, Mindset John. Appreciate you. John Collar, what's up, John? Finally tuned in, and the score didn't upset me. A win is a win. A win is a win. Chi-Chi said, hold on, did Cat get a triple-double before Brunson? Cat got a triple-double before Brunson. He did indeed. Omax misses the free throw. Alvarado will walk it down, and they'll run out the clock, and that will be the end of our night here. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us. El Tigre, appreciate you. Mike, so they're going to the playoffs while tanking at the same time. Greg Williams said we'll probably fire Rose like Dallas fired the general manager, messed up the money. I don't think there's really any scenario in which the front office gets fired this offseason. I think if the Knicks have a disappointing outing during the playoffs this year, the front office seats become warm and hot, but I don't necessarily think they get fired at all. I think it would have to be an absolutely disastrous playoff performance, like swept in the first round or lost in 5 games in the first round. But I don't think the front office is getting fired. That's what bad teams do, brother. It's what poorly run organizations do, like the Dallas Mavericks, who traded Luka Doncic for an injured Anthony Davis and then traded Anthony Davis for nothing. So, yeah, that's what bad organizations do. I don't think the Knicks will be doing that anytime soon. Star said, now we get to watch the Warriors get destroyed. The Warriors, yes, are indeed playing the San Antonio Spurs. Are they tipped off already? They are tipped off already. 25-9. My goodness, 25-9. Yeah. San Antonio. Taking care of, that's what it looks like to take care of business right there. The Nuggets up by 8 against the Jazz here as I stand right in front of the scores. G4 with the G4. Big Chef said Cat went off. He did indeed. 7 turnovers is, like 5 turnovers too high, but he did go off overall for sure. 76ers beat the Wizards in pretty dominating fashion, 153 points. The Hawks beat the Magic in pretty dominating fashion. The Celtics beat the Heat in dominating fashion, 53 points in the first quarter. They didn't even score the most points of the night, by the way. That distinction goes to the 76ers with 153. My goodness. And then the Knicks also not far behind, 130 themselves, same as the Hawks. Just an incredibly high-scoring night. The Pacers put up 145, and I'm so glad we went through the scores here because I'm so happy that the Pacers won. The Rockets beat the Bucks only by 6 points, though. I'm so happy the Pacers won. They're now 18 wins. Let's look at the standings real quick because, boy, oh boy, do I really need our Indiana Pacers, to win games and drop out of that top 3 lottery spot. If they drop to 5 or below, they give their lottery pick up to the LA Clippers. And I don't want to see the Indiana Pacers walk away with a lottery pick this year. I need them to give that lottery pick up to the Clippers, man. I can see Indiana bring Tyrese Halliburton back and make the Zubac trade and wind up with a top 4 pick in this year's draft. Absolutely stacked draft. I can't see it. So, happy that the Pacers won. They have 18 wins. So, Brooklyn is behind them. So, you have 1, 2, 18 wins. They're still behind Sacramento, so they're still third. But other teams can jump them, and they could drop down to 5. It is possible, which is what I'm hoping for. So, we'll end it there. We take solace in the fact that the Pacers won and the Knicks won. So, that is ultimately pretty good. The Knicks now with 49 wins. They're 1 win away from 52 wins away from their total last year, and they have a couple of games remaining. We went over the schedule, but we can take a look at it real quick as well here. We will be live tomorrow for a doubleheader, guys, just to fill you in, a doubleheader tomorrow. The Knicks are not playing. Tonight was the second night of a back-to-back, so they get a day off at least. They will be flying back home and playing Chicago, and then flying on the road to play Atlanta, and then they will be back home for the final 3 games of the regular season. Hopefully they can win more than 51 games. 51 games was where they were at last year. They'd have to go 2-3 to end the season here, which is definitely possible. Absolutely need to see our Knicks go at least 3-2. 3-2 to end our season here, man. At least 3-2. G-Force did Wemby almost a double-double in the first quarter. Woof. My goodness. So we're going to try and do the doubleheader tomorrow. So tomorrow we have a pretty good set of games, and they start at 7 o'clock. Timberwolves versus Pistons should be a fun one. Pistons, even down as many injuries as they're down at times, still find ways to be competitive and win. We just talked about Minnesota being just as inconsistent as the New York Knicks, so that should be a fun game. And then we have the Lakers versus the Thunder, and the Lakers have been playing extremely well as of late, 50-26 on the season. We know what the Thunder are capable of, so this will be a good game and also a nice barometer to see actually how good are the Lakers. Can they actually compete with teams like the Thunder? So that'll be a fun time tomorrow. We're going to have 2 games on the docket. So make sure you get your naps in because we're going to be live for at least 6 hours tomorrow. With that being said, I appreciate you guys as always. I'm going to have to go in and update our membership list here because we got some new members in the chat. Shout out to all of the generosity here tonight. My guy Haitian Mike with a super chat. My guy Sons Jen upping his membership. My guy El Tigre and AP was last night, but my guy El Tigre and Haitian Mike tonight with super chats. My guy Sons Jen upping his membership. And of course, the night belongs to my guy Supa. Who gave in a $50 super chat. My goodness, brother. Thank you for your generosity. You guys know I'll never ask you guys for money. It's very much appreciated, the generosity any of you guys want to donate to the channel. And if you were ever wondering what is that happens to that money, every single dollar this channel has ever made goes into a completely separate account, and that account is solely for the purpose of using things to upgrade this show. Whether it's the green screen or the graphics or the lights or the sound equipment or the camera equipment or the monitors used for this, all of it goes back to making the stream better. And that will remain true for literally as long as, the channel is able to be as self-sufficient as it is right now. At some point, it would be a dream to make this a full-time thing, and we can spend even more time making this better. But as of right now, I appreciate you guys for just deciding to hang out with me here tonight. And I'll never take that for granted. I really won't. So shout out to all of the channel members currently, whether you were gifted a membership or you decided to become a member all on your own. I appreciate your generosity nonetheless. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us in the chat. Appreciate everybody for hitting the thumbs up button and liking the stream. And I appreciate all of our generous donors tonight. Supa leading the way, but Haitian Mike El Tigre, just as generous. Appreciate you guys. And of course, we will be live tomorrow as well, so we're not going anywhere anytime soon. You can't get rid of me. We will be back. With that being said, remember to brush teeth before bed. Stay hydrated, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good night, everybody. Bye.